increases in fuel costs and insurance and water prices and Con Edison prices for electricity. The roof still needs to be repaired. The facade of the building still needs to be repaired.
Wow, it's going to be hot for the next few days in the American Southwest.
The record high temperatures on Friday stretch a large area. They stretch from California all the way to Texas. We've got triple-digit temperatures across Texas, including triple digits in Dallas. We'll probably get to 102, 103 in Austin and San Antonio.
CBS meteorologist David Parkinson says this could be just the start of a scorching summer. Britney Spears has married longtime boyfriend Sam Asghari after nearly 6 years together. The pair announced their engagement via Instagram in September of 2021, but had not disclosed a wedding date at that time. Spears was recently released from legal conservatorship that had controlled her personal life and finances for 13 years. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you can unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license all 56 and US consumer access. Not over 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Was your business hurt in the years of the pandemic? Have you had a serious decline in revenue since 2019? Was your business partly or fully shut down by the government? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you may be eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. How? By taking advantage of the Employer Retention Tax Credit, a fully funded tax credit created to help businesses during these difficult times. The experts at ERTC Rebate Masters are ready to help you get the money you're owed. Call 844-333-ERTC or 844-333-3782.
The Federal Trade Commission is sending checks to more than 2,000 consumers who were ripped off in a mortgage relief scam. More from CBS's Christopher Cruz.
The agency is sending more than $164,000 to 2,155 consumers who were falsely told they could join so-called mass joinder lawsuits against their lenders. Lawsuits that would supposedly save them from foreclosure, get them a free and clear home, and provide them with financial awards of $75,000 or more. Consumers were charged $895 up front, plus thousands in recurring legal fees. The FTC says the firms did file some lawsuits, but never won any of them. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
A New Jersey man has admitted he illegally sold unregistered pesticides, claiming they could defend against COVID, and that he sold these pesticides to government and municipal entities. 63-year-old Paul Andricola pleaded guilty in Camden. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is calling all creative minds. The department exists to engage, enlighten, and elevate a diverse, inclusive cultural arts community. They're committed to strengthening and showcasing organizational and individual cultural endeavors in our hometown. To advance this cause, they're seeking individual artists, artisans, advocacy groups, schools, and avid patrons of the arts. If this is you, visit MontgomeryAL.gov and click on the Cultural Affairs page to register to be part of Montgomery's creative community.
Russell Wilson here with Play 60, United Way in the NFL, helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids!
To get involved, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Donate!
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course!
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Don't miss Sean Hannity.
Biden incoherently adheres.
Live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
Your WSFA First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
Another hot and humid day on the way. High temperatures around 92. There will be a complex of rain and storms that will dive southeastward across Mississippi this afternoon and this evening, and it will impact far west and southwest Alabama. There's some late afternoon and evening showers, perhaps some storms possible. Elsewhere, mostly quiet. Tonight, upper 60s to around 70. Can't rule out a shower or storm. and a couple showers and storms Saturday, highs around 91.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. We're going to start the Friday morning out with an accident. We've got one with injury. It's on Selma Highway 80 in front of the airport. So please keep your eyes open if you're heading in that direction. Highway 80, Selma Highway in front of the airport, accident with injury. Outside of that, interstate system's moving smoothly. No major problems. Otherwise, I've been reported to send you on an alternate route. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. Fall registration at Trenton State starts June 21st, and classes start August 19th. Your exciting future begins at Trenton State. Buckle up. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major DeLowe.
Why are you driving around town on those old bald tires? Do you like living dangerously? Say no to old, bald, and dangerous. For all your tire needs, Chico's Auto Pros, 239-9510.
Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Friday. Mortgage rates jump back up before next week's Federal Reserve meeting, and the Fed is expected to announce another increase to the main borrowing rate. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac reported the 30-year rate jumped from 5.09% 5.23% in just the last week. That's pushing some home buyers out of the market. Mortgage applications also dropped more than 6% in the last week. More economic news, gas prices continue to go up. Right now, the average in Alabama is $4.62 a gallon. The national average is $4.98 a gallon. It's a big day here at WSFA 12 News. Our summer fun and food drive is going on right now. 12 crews at the Renfro's off Chantilly Parkway until 7 o'clock this evening, collecting food and cash donations for the Montgomery Area Food Bank. That serves more than half the counties in our state. We will have volunteers and members of the WSFA 12 News team out there all day taking your donations. You can also donate on WSFA.com.
Hi, this is Tom Latham with Penny Earning Concrete Technologies. For years, you've heard me talking about our concrete projects, from stamped and patterned concrete to foundations for commercial manufacturing, driveways to commercial parking lots, even heavily invested in polished concrete for durable and inexpensive long-term service. What you may not know is we have equipment for clearing lots for construction, clearing and ridding land of scrub and underbrush. We cut roads, clear fence lines, clear pond dams, and pretty much any application where land is overgrown. We have mulchers that can grind underbrush into shreds and return it to nature for compost. Our equipment is minimally invasive, not disturbing and upturning your property where additional grading might be necessary. To clean or clear your property, call Penny Earn at 334-284-9292 and let us transform your overgrown property into a manageable and productive one. Check us out on Facebook at Transformers or call 334-284-9292.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact, Jack!
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow If you wake up and the sun does not.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It's time to rise and shine once again, if you can. For it is another day that the Lord has made, and you're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Good morning. It is time for our daily bread. It is June the 10th, 2022 AD. Today's daily bread is time enough. Is there ever enough? Our scripture insight today comes from Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 13. But Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. So again, today's daily bread, time enough. Govern yourselves accordingly. And again, it is June the 10th, 2022 AD. It is a day that has never been like all the rest. And it is a day that shall never, ever come again. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and undo all the things that you do this day. But more importantly, you don't get the chance to come back and undo the things that you did. So whatever it is that you do this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done this day. And again, if you've lived a while, you've been around a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God and a lot of mercy thrown in, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do, reach back when you can and give somebody else a helping hand while you can, for as long as you can, until you can't. Whatever you do the best that you can. Benjamin Elijah Mays said, I say it every morning because it's true, whatever we do, whatever it is, you should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say if that is the standard by which you live your life, you shall always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two, but you'll be successful anyway. Because winners don't quit, and quitters don't win. While some people who win will fail at a thing or two, we all do. But you'll never be a loser until you quit. Give up, give out, give up, never, give out, maybe. Rest if you can. Don't you ever quit. Don't you ever give up. Because quitters don't win, and winners don't quit. Good morning to you, Montgomery. It's time to rise and shine. Time enough. That's our daily bread for today. Good morning, Montgomery.
Hi, friends, and thanks for joining us for today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading titled Time Enough was written by Cindy Hess Casper. When I saw the massive volume of Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace on my friend's bookshelf, I confessed I've never actually made it all the way through that. Well, Marty chuckled, when I retired from teaching, I got it as a gift from a friend who told me, now you'll finally have time to read it. The first 8 verses of Ecclesiastes 3 state a familiar, natural rhythm of the activities of life with some arbitrary choices. No matter what stage of life we find ourselves in, it's often difficult to find time to do everything we want to do. And to make wise decisions about managing our time, it's helpful to have a plan. Time spent with God each day is a priority for our spiritual health. Doing productive work is satisfying to our spirit. Serving God and helping other people is essential to fulfilling God's purpose for us. And times of rest or leisure aren't wasted, but refreshing for body and spirit. Of course, it's easy to become too focused on the here and now, finding time for the things that matter most to us. But Ecclesiastes 3:11 says that God has set eternity in our hearts, reminding us to make a priority of the things that are eternal. That can bring us face to face with something of the greatest importance, God's eternal perspective from beginning to end. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 13. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to uproot, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to tear down, and a time to build, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones, and a time to gather them, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search, and a time to give up, a time to keep, and a time to throw away, a time to tear, and a time to mend, a time to be silent, and a time to speak, a time to love, and a time to hate, a time for war, and a time for peace. What do workers gain from their toil? I have seen the burden God has laid on the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. Let's pray. Jesus, there are so many pressing and urgent matters in this life, and it's easy for us to lose sight of eternal things. But help us to maintain a healthy balance of the two, so that we don't become discouraged by the weighty matters of today, but are filled each day with the hope that you give us for tomorrow. Thank you, Lord. It's in your name that we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening today. My name is Rochelle Traub, and today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Okay, it's time to rise and shine.
All the way, gotta be
rough and tough, airborne, oh, it ain't run to the sun,
no sweat,
not a yet,
down in the mess hall.
Time to rise and shine. No PT today, but we gotta do this.
To eat but a can of beans. Nothing to eat but a can of beans. The bread was molded and the meat was bad. The bread was molded and the meat was bad. Well, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go, all the way, gotta be rough and tough, airborne, all the way. When I was young, I always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, knees in the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight. All the way airborne, all the way driving on. All the way airborne, all the way driving on. Early one morning in the drizzling rain, when I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light lead with the trembling glow. All the way airborne, all the way driving on. all the way, airborne, airborne, all the way, driving on, driving on, driving on, driving on. Here we go, all the way, gotta be rough and tough, airborne,
airborne, airborne, all the way. And now, we pay homage to all of our armed forces of the United States of America, and we dedicate this to all the people who go in when everybody else is running out. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Fire Department, Montgomery's, Police Department, Montgomery's, Sanitation Department, Montgomery's. Anybody I missed? Sheriff Department, oh yeah, Montgomery. Okay, so, okay, I'll give Prattville and Wetumpka a little stuff in there too, but you know, I live in Montgomery, so those are the guys I know. Anyway, good morning to you as we pay homage to our armed forces of these United States. All the guys who go in when everybody else is running out. Yep, it's Friday morning. Everybody who made it should be absolutely happy and feeling blessed this morning because somebody did it. The United States Marine Corps, who has the best motto of all the services, motto, M-O-T-O, or M-O-T-T-O. Semper Fi, Semper Fidelis. Anyway, it means the same thing. Always, always faithful. Anybody want to hear my story about the Marine Corps one more time? After this year, I'm not going to tell anymore. I just thought I'd tell you. And last, but certainly not least, the United States Army. Home of the 82nd Airborne, the Green Berets, the Rangers, Delta Force, Big Red 1, the 555, the 333, 8th ID, the Big Red 1, and so many story units that have gone to war and stand ready in peace to defend us. Good morning to you, troops. Anyway, good morning. Now, I got to go to a break. We'll come back. Well, it's a great day to be alive. I love this. I played it Monday, but you know, I play the same one on Mondays and Fridays. It's a great piece. Makes you want to think and makes you want to, you know, kind of makes you want to reassess some of the things in life that you are thinking now. Anyway, got to take a break. We'll be back uno momento. Okay, as soon as I stop this thing here for a second there. Okay, stop that right there. Okay, go right there. Okay. Hey, when you're the producer and the thing, sometimes you can't get it all right at the same time. But however, I'm working on it. I really am. I'm working on it. So, let's take a break. Somebody's texting me, saying I'm a house Negro. What a intellectually bankrupt thing to say. You know, you know what you do when you cannot argue a point? You start insulting people. And then when you start insulting people, that pretty much loses the argument anyway. unless it's absolutely incontrovertibly true. But anyway, okay, that's the way things go sometimes. Yeah. Yep, that's the best he can do. I guess that's the best he can do. I ain't mad at him if you're limited by intellectual prowess, like then all you can do is insult, and I'm good with that. I just figure the source and let it go. But text him. If you want to have an interesting conversation about it, please feel free to pick up the phone during my call-in hour, and we'll talk. We'll be back.
Weather forecast on
Bright sunshiny day.
Sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
Another hot and humid day on the way. High temperatures around 92. There will be a complex of rain and storms that will dive southeastward across Mississippi this afternoon and this evening, and it will impact far west and southwest Alabama. Some late afternoon and evening showers and perhaps some storms possible elsewhere, mostly quiet. Tonight, upper 60s to around 70. Can't rule out a shower or storm, and a couple showers and storms Saturday, highs around 91.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. We're going to start your Friday morning out with an accident. We've got one with injury. It's on Selma Highway 80 in front of the airport. So please keep your eyes open if you're heading that direction. Highway 80, Selma Highway in front of the airport, accident with injury. Outside of that, interstate system's moving smoothly. No major problems otherwise have been reported to send you on an alternate route. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. Fall registration at Trenton State starts June 21st, and classes start August 19th. Your exciting future begins at Trenton State. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
Why are you driving around town on those old ball tires? Do you like living dangerously? Say no to old, bald, and dangerous. For all your tire needs, Chico's Auto Pros, 239-9510.
The situation for the Overwatch League Boston Uprising doesn't get any better, as their all-star player Stryker has suddenly left the team this week for the second time. Stryker began with the Uprising in 2018 before joining the San Francisco Shock and playing a major role in both of the Shock's 2019 and 2020 championships. Speculation of internal clashing arose as the Uprising president tweeted that the team is, quote, not the right fit for Stryker at this point.
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get your real
Gonna be happy now the rain is
Chuck McDowell, founder of Westy Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely.
I told him.
Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333.
Yeah, I guess not.
I guess.
Oh, I couldn't really.
Gas loading stomach pain or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Sponsored by AbbVie.
$49 down delivered. Hey, Montgomery, Prattville, Macpherson here with Budget Car and Truck Sales. That's right, $49 down delivered. Shop over 300 late model, light new cars plus vans, SUVs, convertibles, sports cars, America's finest, starting with prices of $6,900. and $49 down delivered. Yep, think your credit report's a little messy? Been told no in the past? Bankruptcy, medical bills, or even a foreclosure? Budget treats everyone with privacy and respect for all credit situations. I work with the banks and the lenders that understand your past and know you're more than just a number. You're number one to me. This special relationship allows us 100% credit approval gold. That's right, 100% credit approval gold. Get absolute top dollar for your car. We'll buy your car even if you don't buy one from us. No trade-in required. Oh, did I say $49 down delivered? Budget car and truck sale, 61 Mendel Parkway, Montgomery, or 508 to Queensmith Road, Prattville. BuyBudgetOnline.com. That's BuyBudgetOnline.com.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson and the providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Dr. Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I have been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought this problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99, and that includes all testing, including a PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Hi, this is Tom Layton.
I'm talking about the callers, man. Not
For years, you've heard me talking about our concrete projects, from stamped and patterned concrete to foundations to commercial manufacturing, driveways to commercial parking lots, even heavily invested in polished concrete for durable and inexpensive long-term service. What you may not know is we have equipment for clearing lots for construction, clearing and ridding land of scrub and underbrush. We cut roads, clear fence lines, clear pond dams, and pretty much any application where land is overgrown. We have mulchers that can grind underbrush into shreds and return it to nature for compost. Our equipment is minimally invasive, not disturbing and upturning your property where additional grading might be necessary. To clean or clear your property, call Penny Earth at 334-284-9292 and let us transform your overgrown property into a manageable and productive one. Check us out on Facebook at Transformers or call 334-284-9292.
Hey, Sean Hannity here, and now you can hear me live every afternoon. It all starts at 2, and it's all happening right here on News Radio 1440.
Well. Okay. I'm with you. Okay, I'm back. Somebody was telling me that my sound goes way down when we go to commercial break, so I'll have to talk to that engineer one more again and tell him to, straighten that thing out. Anyway, today's audio presentation for your edification, for your motivation, for your perspective changer is by a guy named, his last name is Humphrey, I believe. Anyway, it is simply entitled, "It is a Great Day to Be Alive."
I think the melody on the box.
My first hero. Growing up, my grandmother never used an alarm clock. But every morning, I wake up at 4:15. And at 4:16, her feet would hit the floor, usually right in front of my face. And that's what would wake me up. But I would lay there and I would pretend like I was still asleep, because me and 4:15 really didn't get along. But Grandma would look at the back of my head. I could feel her staring at me. And then finally she would say, "Now, sugar, Grandmama know you ain't sleep. You just supposed to go on and get on up and get ready for school." And my grandmother was known for saying things that would kind of make you a little angry because they made so much sense and you couldn't argue with her. Parents, there's things that when you become parents, you start to say to your own kids. And my grandmother would say, "Now, son, you knew when you laid down there last night that you had to get up this morning. I don't know why every single morning you lay there and act surprised." He ought to be thankful that the Lord saw fit to wake you up this in your right mind. But what my grandmother was encouraging me to do was simply to be grateful for the opportunity. In spite of all that I had been through in my life, she just wanted to make sure that I understood the opportunity that I've been given. My life got started, it was a little rough start. I was born 2 months premature. My mother was walking up a flight of stairs, and she didn't know this at the time, but a woman she had an argument with earlier was standing above her holding a pot of boiling water. As my mom made her way up those stairs, that woman dumped that water onto my mom and sent her tumbling down the stairs into premature labor. She received third-degree burns to over 25% of her body. And when we were finally allowed to leave the hospital, as you can imagine, my mom was in a great deal of pain. Those burns just barely missed her face and covered most of the front of her body. So when we got home, she began taking a heavy sedative, pain medication to help her recover. When she took that medication, it was very difficult for her to watch me, so I would bounce around a lot. I'd stay with my mom for a little bit, and then I'd go stay with grandma, and I'd stay with some neighbors, aunties, and then back to my mother's house. I did that for the first 3 years of my life. I was 3 years old, I was back at my mom's house, and I got into her purse, I found that medication, I swallowed everything in the bottle. When they found me, they rushed me to the hospital, and my heart would stop, and eventually I went into a coma. But because of that accident, because of that incident, the state of California, they did an investigation. And the conclusion that they came to was that it wasn't an accident. They removed me from my mother's home, they awarded the state, and eventually I went into a foster care system. Shortly after I arrived to one of my foster homes, my foster mom, her name was Miss Alexander. Miss Alexander began locking me inside the closet in the light. She'd open the closet door, she'd kick me with a stick or a strap or whatever she had. It was while I was in that foster home that I was sexually abused for the first time in my life. And oftentimes people ask, if that has to be the worst thing that could happen to someone. I have scars on my body that you can't see. I have a burn here in my hand that she put there with an iron. But all of that pain went away. The worst thing that Mrs. Alexander would do is she would open the closet door, she would stand over me, and she would say, "You're stupid, and you ain't gonna never amount to nothing." And that hurt me more than any of the physical kicks or the physical pain because I believed it for a long time. I believed that I would never amount to anything, just like she said. I didn't know this at the time. I found out a little bit later, but my grandmother, my hero, she had started going back and forth to court, trying to prove that she could take care of an active, handsome little boy. And eventually, the state of California, they granted her full custody of me. And I'll never forget, I'll never forget standing on Miss Alexander's front porch waiting. She had my little belongings, everything that I had. I remember standing there. It may have only been a half an hour, but it felt like an eternity. And I can remember thinking maybe no one's coming. But after a while, at the end of the block, I see the ugliest car I've ever seen in my life. And the car pulls up right in front of the porch. And I remember all I could see are these two big glass bifocals. I found out later that grandma had glaucoma. She wasn't supposed to be driving. But she gets out of that big car and she's got on this white floppy hat with this, it was a flower right there in the middle. And I remember she had on this long white dress that came all the way down to her ankles. And I found out later that, that was Grandma's Sunday best. It was an outfit that she only reserved for special occasions. And I can remember for once in my life feeling like I was on a special occasion. I remember jumping into Grandma's arms and squeezing her, and I remember her whispering and saying to me, "Everything's okay. Your family." And everything was okay, just like Grandmother said. And I had a lot to look forward to. I found out that my mom was going to court trying to prove that she could take care of me. And I can remember sitting there with my mother, and we talk, and we had a lot of different conversations. One thing I can remember saying, "Mama, one day when I get big, I'm gonna buy you a nice house with a fireplace." I said, "Mama, one day I'm gonna buy you a nice car." Not like Grandma, so get you a nice one. But the truth is, I just really wanted to become a family again, and that's what I look forward to. When I was 12 years old, I was asleep on my grandmother's floor. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. We get a knock on the door. It was my mom's roommate. Miss Howell, come quick." Miss Howell was my grandma. She said, "Come quick, It's Ruth. Ruth was my mom. She said, I can't wake her up. I think she's dead. And I can remember laying on that floor, kind of wishing it was, thinking, hoping that it was maybe a dream. But it wasn't. And that's how I found out that all the hopes and dreams and things that I had to look forward to weren't going to happen. I became very angry. I became confused. I was hurt. I didn't really understand what was happening. I started acting out, hanging out with wrong people, breaking into houses, started stealing cars. I remember not really caring what happened to me. I continued that behavior until I was 19. When I was 19, I found myself standing in front of a judge. I was handcuffed, had a chain around my waist, and my handcuffs were attached to that chain. The judge looked at me and says, the state of California sentences you to 15 years in prison for armed robbery and assault. That day, when that door closed behind me for the first time as a convicted felon, I remember standing in that empty cell. I remember my knees started to get weak and they started to shake uncontrollably. I collapsed and I fell to the floor. I just started crying alone. I can remember hearing voices. I heard the voice of my foster mom saying, you're stupid, you ain't gonna never amount to nothing. I heard the voice of family members and friends of family that said that boy's gonna end up just like his father. My father was a career criminal, he died in prison. I can remember laying there thinking to myself that this is where I'm gonna die. But here's what happened that would change my life. Shortly after I arrived to that prison, there was an educator there. His name was Charles Lyles, 6'3", ex-Marine. And I don't know what it was about me, but every time he saw me, he'd say, hey, Mr. Humphrey. And he had this big smile on his face, a smile that my kids would say, that's creepy. But he smiled and he said, hey, Mr. Humphrey, how are you doing? He always called me Mr. Humphrey. He gave me that respect. He walked into my cell. He looked at me and he said, Mr. Humphrey, he says, prison doesn't have to be your life. He says, you can get out of here and you can do great things. He started to walk away, and before he walked out of my cell, he turned around one last time. He says, Mr. Humphrey? I said, yes, sir. He says, I believe in you. He walked out of my cell. And if he had continued to stand there, he would have seen the tears running down my face because no one had ever said that to me. But I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to make some changes, and I'm going to change my life. And a little over 4 years after the day I originally collapsed and fell to the floor, I walked out of that prison on my own. That was over 18 years ago. I've never been back other than to mentor and help other people. But here's what I know. I know that when you've had a rough life, when you feel unwanted,
your guest yesterday, Dirt Jumping Bunch Coffee Mugs in there, you got to clean.
Things that you can look forward to. When you have people in place that support you,
push you. Really? You had 4 folks in here yesterday.
So that was a couple days ago.
Oh, okay, day before yesterday. Yeah.
It is a great day.
Sink full of cups in there.
We all have some bottled water in there.
But now it's something that I say to myself every single day at some point.
I agree. I can't believe there's not bottled water.
But I also understand
Niggas look
what
cheap.
my grandmother was thanking her higher power for each and every day was for the opportunity that she'd been given. And she never missed an opportunity to tell anyone that would listen, especially me, it's a great day to be alive.
A great day to be alive. I never get tired of hearing this. Never. It tells the story of so many people, myself included, because I just tell you. Anyway, good morning to you. I hope this day finds you well, finds you blessed to be above the living and not the dead. You got you on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. First of all, let me tell you, this hour is brought to you by, of course, none other than JL Lane Truck and Auto. You can go to jllanetruckandauto.com, and you will find a plethora of automobiles that you can handle, okay? jllanetruckandauto.com. You can check out the inventory online. Right now, you can go there right now and check out the inventory. Now, I don't know if that Lexus is still there, but I'll call him this morning and see if it is there, okay? But don't worry about credit. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Don't worry about getting financed by the big old GMCs and the Fords and all them people, because over at JL Lane Truck and Auto, you buy there and you pay there. Okay, so don't worry about pleasing the whole wide world. You just gotta go over there, talk to Mr. Lane, talk to Kathy, talk to Steve, talk to them all, and I guarantee you, if there's any way to get yourself a car, they will get you, and not some raggedy car. Nice cars from Lincolns to Hyundais to a Ford. So you, a matter of fact, if you go to their website, JLLaneTruckandAuto.com, you can search for a car by the manufacturer you're looking for. So I'm just telling you, go over there and see them today, or give them a call, 272-4313. You can't call them right now because it's kind of early yet, but I'm just saying you might want to do that. Anyway, good morning to you. Now it's time for the lessons of life, and these are the things that we try to learn. We learn by living. I mean, we can hear about these things all we want to, but until you've actually put some time in life, we call it TIL. You just, all of these things are just things to you. You don't know what's real and what isn't. Well, this morning we're gonna tell you a couple of things that are real. Okay, now as soon as I get my act together, okay, bring that back so I can see. Okay, I'm not that blind. I don't need it that big. Anyway, good morning to you. The word of the day. Now, the word of the day is an interesting word of today, because when you see this word, you must first of all see whether or not it is worth it. Okay, that's the first thing you must do. You must see whether or not it is worth it. Okay, but I'm reminded of a movie, The Ten Commandments, where when the Pharaoh, Yul Brynner, asked Moses when he was banishing him to the desert to die, Yul Brynner, I never will forget it, said, "What I'm about to do, I am compelled to do." And Moses said, "Well, what I'm about to do, I'm compelled to do," or something like that, close to it. Anyway, so the word is compel. It means something that you have to do because of a sense of obligation or duty. It is something that you have to do. You're compelled, like going to court. Okay, when the guy puts you on the stand, you are compelled to tell the truth. Although some of y'all still be lying up there. I know. I'll be watching enough Perry Mason to know when people be lying or not. So anyway, the word of the day is compel. That means when you need an answer, when you need the truth from somebody, you say you're compelled to tell us the truth. Okay, I'm just saying, All right. So never mind. So the word of the day is compel. Force or obligation, to force somebody, or you find it within yourself to do something out of a sense of duty, okay, of responsibility. All right, go right ahead. Now, the lesson of life this morning, it's an easy one. It is one that we forget often, myself included. Okay, the lesson of life today was a reminder for me because I knew about it, but sometimes we forget it. We forget it. So I know about this lesson of life, and we should know about these things. But sometimes as human beings, we don't always do what we know to do. Okay, one of the greatest attributes of a human being, or that a human being can have, is humility. Humility. What does that mean, humility? Well, I'll tell you in a second. But one of the things that it is an attribute that strictly is human. Okay, it is a human. Often we are fraught with the opposite of humility, and that's being braggadocious, being overly confident in oneself. But humility, it is a modest or low opinion of one's importance. Okay? Again, a modest or a low opinion of one's importance. Like a couple of weeks ago, I finally figured out that I wasn't that important. So I walk around with 2 cell phones, right? Like the president's gonna call me, or the governor's gonna call me, or somebody gonna call me. Hell, the phone never rang. So humility is a great attribute to have, and sometimes I forget it. Especially when broke people should be really modest, and I'm one of them broke people. We should be really modest. Sometimes though, we act like we got going on. We don't be having jack. Okay, so humility is a great attribute to have. Let's not forget about it. Every once in a while, use it, because you can never have too much humility. You can have too much arrogance, but you can't have too much humility. And again, the Lessons of Life brought to you by J.L. Lane Truck and Auto, 334-272-4313. And so from now on, you can attribute this to them. They sponsor this. Okay. The Lessons of Life. I had to call Mr. Lane on one morning, let him do the lesson of life. Anyway, good morning to you. It is June the 10th. It is the 161st day of the year. On January 10th, 1967, 6 days of war in the Mideast involving Israel, Syria, and Egypt, Jordan and Iraq ended as Israel and Syria accepted the United Nations mediated ceasefire. I didn't really know they had stopped yet, but okay then, I'm good. On this day in 1610, Englishman Lord de la Ware, whatever the hell his name is, arrived at Jamestown settlement to take charge of Virginia colony. And that's what they wrote. I haven't seen the video, but who knows? Maybe it's true. In 1692, the first execution resulting from the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts took place as Bridget Bishop was hanged. Obviously, those were not Christian people who did that. 1935, Alcoholics Anonymous was founded in Akron, Ohio by Dr. Robert Holbrook Smith and William Griffith Wilson. I like people who have 3 names. 1942 was the year German forces massacred 642 residents of the French village of, no sense me messing up their name, but I'm going to see if I can get it, Oradour-sur-Glane. I don't know if that's how it's spelled, but the last name is Oradoursurglane. Anybody can pronounce that? Please let me, tell me how you pronounce that. I went to sleep on Spanish class, and evidently I went to sleep on French too. So, woo! 1950. I'm still having a hard time with English, so no wonder I can't pronounce some of these other words. 1957, in Canadian elections, John Diefenbaker. I actually looked this up last night. Diefenbaker. Okay, yeah, Diefenbaker. So thank you very much. Led the Progressive Conservatives to an upset victory over the Liberal Party of Prime Minister Louis St. Laurent. Okay, whoever he is, I don't know. 1957. I was like 6 months old. May, June, June. No, I was 2 months old. So who knows what was happening on this day. 1971. President Richard Milhous Nixon lifted a 2 decades old trade embargo on China. And now they own us. But I'm not blaming Tricky Nixon for that, because I think at the time he did the right thing. In 1977, James Earl Ray was convicted on this day of the assassination of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. He escaped from Busky Mountain State Prison in Tennessee with 6 others. He was recaptured on June the 13th. So he didn't get away that long. 1978, a firm written by Stephen Coughlin won the 110th Belmont Stakes to claim horse racing's 11th Triple Crown. Abdar was second, while Darby Creek Road came in third in a 5-horse field. The year was 1990. Alberto Fujimori was elected president of Peru by a narrow margin over novelist Mario Vargas Llosa. 2 members of the rap group 2 Live Crew were arrested in Hollywood, California. They and a 3rd band member were later acquitted of obscenity charges. I think they just got butt naked and started to do the wild thing on stage. I guess that's called freedom of speech. Okay, it is 6:56 in the morning. 1991, 11-year-old J.C. Duggart of Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe, California, was abducted by Philip and Nancy Garrido. JC was held by the couple for 18 years before she was found by authorities. And the year was 2001. The Supreme Court, without comment, turned down a request to allow the videotaping of Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh's execution scheduled for the following day. 13 years ago, James Von Braun, an 88-year-old white supremacist, opened fire on a U.S. Holocaust memorial in Washington, D.C., killing security guard Stephen J. Johns. Von Braun died in a North Carolina hospital in January 2010 while awaiting trial. Donald Trump fired Miss California USA Carrie Prejean, who sparked controversy when she says gays shouldn't be allowed to marry, citing contract violations. Okay, well, that's a woman I like. She's willing to stand up for what she believes. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you, I like people willing to do that. Unlike Mo Brooks, who's trying to kiss the ring of Trump just to get him to come back and say, "Yeah, I love you now. I didn't love you before, but I love you now." So yeah, I wouldn't ask him for Jack. Anyway, there's got to be some pride, you know. The musical The Band's Visit captured 10 Tony Awards. Rafael Nadal earned his 11th French Open title and his 17th overall Grand Slam events, beating Dominic Thiem, or close to it, in the men's final. And those are some of the things that happened. Don't forget, this hour brought to you by JL Lane Truck and Auto, 334-272-4313. Go talk to them. Now, when we come back, this guy has got to be the best lawyer in the United States of America. I mean, this guy, the guy who handled this case, everybody in America, he ought to be a billionaire by the end of the week, okay, which is today, because this guy won a case that nobody in America would ever think somebody could win. But he did. He won it. I'm just, Lord, I need this guy because I got something I got somebody I need to sue. But when we come back, we talk about that. Don't forget, coming up also, at 8 o'clock hour, Todd Strange via the phone will call us and we can talk a little bit about Mr. Elton D. We'll be back.
News update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Friday. Mortgage rates jump back up before next week's Federal Reserve meeting, and the Fed is expected to announce another increase to the main borrowing rate. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac reported the 30-year rate jumped from 5.09% to 5.23% in just the last week. That's pushing some home buyers out of the market. Mortgage applications also dropped more than 6% in the last week. More economic news, gas prices continue to go up. Right now, the average in Alabama is $4.62 a gallon. The national average is $4.98 a gallon. It's a big day here at WSFA 12 News. Our summer fun and food drive is going on right now. We'll have crews at the Renfro's off Chantilly Parkway until 7 o'clock this evening, collecting food and cash donations for the Montgomery Area Food Bank. That serves more than half the counties in our state. We will have volunteers and members of the WSFA 12 News team out there all day taking your donations. You can also donate on WSFA.com.
WLWI AM, the home of the Ben Shapiro Show, and heard on 95.1 HD3 FM.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Some gripping footage shown last night at the January 6th committee's hearing. CBS News White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy reports on how the committee began to lay out its case.
We can't sweep what happened under the rug.
Democrat Benny Thompson, chair of the House's January 6th committee, said the violence that day was no accident. At last night's primetime hearing, Thompson called the assault on the Capitol the culmination of an attempted coup.
And this scheme was an attempt to undermine the will of the people.
Republican Liz Cheney is the panel's vice chair.
In our hearings, you will see evidence of each element of this plan.
A plan, Cheney says, to systematically thwart the will of voters and appoint Justice Department officials who would do what then Attorney General Bill Barr would not, falsely declare the 2020 election to have been the subject of widespread fraud. Committee leaders played clips of Barr's videotaped testimony in which he explained what he told Mr. Trump.
I made it clear I did not agree with the idea of saying the election was stolen and putting out this stuff, which I told the president was bullshit.
6 more hearings are expected through the end of the month. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Washington.
In a new interview, the police chief of Uvalde, Texas School District has defended himself and his officers during the classroom shooting at Robb Elementary School. KENS's Holly Stouffer has details.
He insists he took the steps he thought would be best to protect lives, calling for tactical gear, a sniper, and keys to get into the classroom. Arredondo told the Tribune his decision to leave his police and campus radios outside was because he wanted both hands free to hold his gun, ready to confront the gunman.
The gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers. The nation's most prominent gauge of inflation will be released later this hour. The Consumer Price Index report for May is expected to show a continued rise in the rate of inflation. Here's Bankrate Chief Financial Analyst Greg McBride.
We'll need to see a number of months of moderate price readings for the rate of inflation to come down in a meaningful way, and I'm not sure we're going to get that this month. The rate of inflation is going to remain stubbornly high, and we may not get much under 6% before year end.
The increase in inflation is forecast to stay near a 40-year high of 8.4%. Parts of the West and Southwest will be baking this weekend under an extreme heat dome. Ted Florendo is a meteorologist for KLAS TV in Las Vegas.
109 on Friday will set a new record. Saturday, we will tie that record at 109 that we reached way back in 1956. It's been that long.
This is CBS News.
The World News Roundup is presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you can unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started.
Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license law 56 and all lessons for access. Not open 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Was your business hurt in the years of the pandemic? Have you had a serious decline in revenue since 2019? Was your business partly or fully shut down by the government? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you may be eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. How? By taking advantage of the Employer Retention Tax Credit, a fully funded tax credit created to help businesses during these difficult times. The experts at ERTC Rebate Masters are ready to help you get the money you're owed. Call 844-333-ERTC or 844-333-3782.
The Biden administration is expected to lay out a new plan today to deal with migration. More from CBS's Steve Futterman at the Summit of the Americas.
As the Summit of the Americas concludes here, President Biden will unveil what's being called the Declaration of Los Angeles. It's designed to help begin to solve the complicated issue of migration. Mr. Biden calls it a transformative new approach.
To increase opportunities for safe and orderly migration, to crack down on criminals and human traffickers who prey on desperate people.
The plan is expected to include financial aid to countries taking in migrants and new legal pathways for foreign workers. Steve Futterman, CBS News, with the president in Los Angeles.
A bill that would allow immigrants in the country illegally to obtain driver's licenses is law in Massachusetts, now that the state Senate has voted to override the governor's veto. 16 other states and the District of Columbia have similar laws. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
Sometimes you need things done around your house or land that your lawnmower or weed eater just can't handle. That's when you call Prattville Farm Center. They bring their own crew, equipment, and clear whatever you need. They say no job is too small. I've been going to Prattville Farm Center for years, and I like dealing with hometown folks. They get the job done right and get it done quickly. If you have land that needs clearing, call Randy at Prattville Farm Center on South Memorial Drive in Prattville. Call 365-5400.
$49 down delivered. Hey, Montgomery, Prattville, Matt Wesley here with Budget Car and Truck Sales. That's right, $49 down delivered. Shop over 300 late model light view cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, convertibles, sports cars, America's finest. Starting with prices of $6,900. And $4 down delivered. Yep, think your credit report's a little messy? Been told no in the past? Bankruptcy, medical bills, or even a foreclosure. Budget treats everyone with privacy and respect for all credit situations. I work with the banks and the lenders that understand your past and know you're more than just a number. You're number one to me. This special relationship allows us 100% credit approval gold. That's right, 100% credit approval gold. Get absolute top dollar for your car. We'll buy your car even if you don't buy one from us. No trade-in required. Oh, did I say $49 down delivers? Budget car and truck sale, 61 Mendell Parkway, Montgomery, or 508 McLean, Stratsville. BuyBudgetOnline.com. That's BuyBudgetOnline.com.
What's all the buzz about cleaning your nose, nasal hygiene, and Navage, Navage, Navage? The science is simple. Your nose is the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses, but it's not perfect. Like washing your hands and brushing your teeth, it's time to start cleaning your nose too. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the back of the nose where most germs and viruses multiply, then flushes them out the other nostril before they reach your lungs. My name's Martin Hoke, and I didn't invent nasal irrigation. It's been around thousands of years. I did invent Navage to make it easy for everyone. In less than 30 seconds, you can clean your nose. And because it's all natural and drug-free, it's safe to use Navage every single day. Are you ready to join nearly 3 million people who use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier? At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the Sean Hannity Show. Join me every afternoon at 2 right here on News Radio 1440.
Okay, now good morning, everybody. I got to do something here because I'm going to bring the former mayor on at about 15 after to give us, as everybody knows now in the city of Montgomery, Hope County, probably state, know that we lost Commissioner Elton Dean the other day. And I've asked, I did not know Elton Dean that well, except that in his official capacity as the commissioner of the county commission. However, it's my understanding that he and the former mayor worked together for a while, so they knew each other. So I thought I'd bring him on this morning and just get a reflection of his contribution to this city and this county. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little break right now, and I shall be back uno momento in a couple seconds here. So don't y'all go anyplace. That way I can get him in without interfering with his message this morning. Okay, so don't y'all go anyplace. I'll be right back. I promise. If the good Lord says the same.
Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey DQ fans, the new All-Star Summer Blizzard treat lineup is here with flavors like the Girl Scout Thin Mints, the new Oreo Dirt Pie, Caramel Fudge Cheesecake, Cotton Candy, and more. There's something for everybody, only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Another hot and humid day on the way. High temperatures around 92. There will be a complex of rain and storms that will dive southeastward across Mississippi this afternoon into this evening, and it will impact far west and southwest Alabama. Some late afternoon and evening showers, perhaps some storms possible. Elsewhere, mostly quiet. Tonight, upper 60s to around 70. Can't rule out a shower or storm, and a couple showers and storms Saturday. Highs around 91.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker. On News Radio 440.
Good morning, Montgomery. One accident's been reported so far this morning. It was on Selma Highway in front of the airport. So keep your eyes open there. Outside of that, interstate system's moving smoothly. Nothing else being reported that would send you on an alternate route. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. Your home is worth more now than ever before. So get those special projects started. Call the A-Team at MCS in Wetumpka for a cash-out refinance or an equity loan. MCS 567-9000. NMLS 232876. Buckle up. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Why are you driving around town on those old ball tires? Do you like living dangerously? Say no to old, bald, and dangerous. For all your tire needs, Chico's Auto Pros, 239-95.
He's got neckties. He's got socks. Give him a gift that really rocks. Treat your dad to a $5,000 basement barbecue or backyard upgrade. What would your pop choose? A brand spanking new grill area, all new lawn care equipment, a ginormous flat screen for the man cave? Pop gets to pick. Head to our website national contest for a chance at $5,000 for a basement barbecue or backyard upgrade for your top pop.
Enter win at newsradio1440.com.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson and the providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old.
95.
Their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Tom from Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I have been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought this problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99, and that includes all testing, including a PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Joe Biden has created a dangerous crisis at our border. Now, illegal immigrants are flooding into our country in record numbers, and they're bringing violent crime and deadly drugs with them. Conservative Katie Britt is running for the U.S. Senate to secure our border and protect Alabama families. Here's Katie Britt.
Joe Biden promised amnesty and free health care to illegal immigrants. And that's exactly why border crossings are now at an all-time high. We need to send fighters to Washington who are dead serious about border security. Here's where I stand. Let's finish President Trump's wall, ban sanctuary cities, crack down on the drug cartels. And here's a novel concept. Put American families first for a change. As Alabama's next senator, I will fight back against the Biden liberals and never back down.
Katie Britt is tough on illegal immigration, and she's ready to fight for stronger borders.
I'm Katie Britt, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Britt for Alabama, Inc.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through their site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here's a question for you. Why is it that some people aren't as stressed out about the future as you'd think they'd be? Answer, they're probably among the millions of Americans who have prepared themselves with emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. If the worst ever happens, literally millions of American families are already protected from dealing with empty store shelves. Is yours? If not, go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and grab some emergency food kits, at least one for each member of your family. These kits give you a wide variety of delicious meals that average over 2,000 calories per day. Everything stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. Order your kits now by going to MyPatriotSupply.com.
Your order will ship fast and arrive discreetly in unmarked boxes. Listen, this is something you need to jump on now before the next news headline stuns the world. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Hey, hear me at my new time right here on the same great station. It's all happening every afternoon at 2, right here on News Radio 1440.
And slow for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be thinking about you. Yes, I am. Time came when you had to.
And we are back. On the phone with us, all the way from someplace in Montgomery, is the former mayor and member of the county commission when I got here, as a matter of fact, in 90-something, is Mr. Todd Strange, former mayor of the city of Montgomery. And not only did he know Elton, he I think he had an opportunity to work with Elton Dean also. Good morning, Mayor, our former mayor.
Good morning, Kevin.
Hey, sir.
Hope you're having a good day.
I'm doing the best we can at the moment. A lot of people ask me, a lot of people ask me to ask you to call in and give a reflection about him. I didn't know him very well except through his official capacity as the county commissioner, but you had a personal relationship with him that's probably unlike other people.
Well, I did, and I cherish that relationship. Well, we had similar backgrounds. I didn't know it at the time, but both of our fathers died at a young age of 14 or 15. We grew up in the Bell system, and he was on the county commission. Bill Joseph decided not to run after, I guess, 40 years. He'd been 30 years chairman, and I won that election. Good news, this doesn't have any opposition. And I was elected chair, and then the first activity after that was elect him as vice chair. So for those 5 years, I actually was elected 2. He was our vice chair, and then when I went on to have the honor of being the mayor, he then became the chair. So for many years, we worked together and kind of had each other's back, and he was a great leader. In the county, as a commissioner, even though you're chair, you're still one of 5 votes, but you have to take kind of a leadership position and work with the administration to get things done. But he worked extremely well, led the commission to work extremely well with the city council and the city. And I mean, every place, everywhere you look, inside our city, in the county area, he'll always remind me that, remember now, the city of Montgomery in the county of Montgomery. So he's going to be missed, and there's testaments and memorials to him, his work all over the community.
Matter of fact, didn't we just put up a park someplace dedicated to him?
Yeah, in his district, that was one of and he was passionate about youth. I mean, he was commissioner of the leagues, and he led the effort to get one set of sales tax before I actually got on the commission to fund education. He was a leader in trying to get resources to build the new buildings that we have out here. The first time I ever really worked with him was before I got on the county commission. I was just doing volunteer economic development work. He and Bill Joseph had this vision of putting an industrial park in out Highway 80 there at Middling, and it was for a project for the Bell system, going to make wire, fiber cable. We didn't get that project, but you walk out there, right out there today, it's fully developed, and it's a great economic impact to our community. And certainly, as vice chair, he was very active with the Hyundai recruiting. I had the privilege of being the director of the Alabama Development Office at the time. He and Bill Joseph just guided that commission to be supportive. So he was a great man.
Mm-hmm. I guess he's somewhat of a humble man, because a lot of things I just didn't know about him, and you either, as a matter of fact. A lot of things you guys did. When the county, of course, the city is within the county, but does the county how much influence, I guess I'm asking, does the county commission have over a city? Because the city is part of the county is not part of the city. And in the chain of command, does the county stand atop the city?
Well, in the governance, you got your state, you got the county, you got city. City obviously better report to the county. But that's why it's so important that they've got different functions, and there are some functions that go together. But that's why it's so important that the city, the mayor, the council, the county commission has to work together. Just as a, for instance, right now, through the incentive monies and COVID and some of those other things, there are $86 million sitting there for projects that the city and the county can spend their money on. It has to be identified now. In a certain period of time, it's spent by 26, and obviously he is working with the county and the city with that group to make it happen. You know, it's tough for a mayor. You got to communicate with your 9 city councilmen individually, because each of them got a vote, and then it's harder then to communicate with all 5 positions, because you can't do it together. You can't meet, and have to always have open meetings. So you rely on the chairman and the vice chairman with the mayor and maybe the city council president to be kind of that executive committee, if you will, to approach the subjects, get the framework, and then bring it back to your respective group. So it's vital that those 2 organizations work together, and that's where Elton was so effective.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine, let me ask, how important is it to elect people like Elton, people who are, I guess, lifelong residents, or primarily lifelong residents of Alabama, of Montgomery, and I don't know if you from here, and I don't.
I don't know that that's the criteria. Lifelong. I came in 77 and didn't get into politics until 2004, when I actually got elected first to the county commission. You do obviously have some minimum qualifications for residency, things like that. But at the end of the day, you got to love your city. It's got to be a city that you care about. And while you're elected, in Elton's case, as a district, you've got a specified district, as do city council people. But you got to take care of your district, but you also got to think bigger and take care of this entire community. When you think about it, of the 225,000 population, the city's got 201,000, and the outside municipality has about 25,000. Well, Pike Road and the city of Montgomery are the only 2 municipalities within this county, which is pretty unique. And that's why the city of Montgomery, this time immemorial, has really dominated the activities, and the county, though, sometimes takes the lead in things. Like Whitewater is a perfect example where the county wanted to step up, primarily led by Elton, to take the lead on that particular project. And we played a secondary role in that endeavor. The city did. The city, gave some property. So it's important for people to understand the relationship, but just as an example for Elton Dean, to know where you need to step in, where you need to lead, and frankly, know when to follow as well.
Mm-hmm. What do you believe is one of Elton's greatest leadership attributes?
Reaching across the aisle, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be his fellow commissioners or his fellow members, obviously he was a person that could bring the best out of it, bring people together. He was a quiet person. You didn't see him, beating his chest, standing up. We did this, we did that. He was, but when called upon, he was articulate. He could do that. He loved youth. He was passionate about education, passionate about economic development. There are a couple of people in the state of Alabama that have received this international award for economic development. David Brock is one of them, and Elton Dean is the other for a long time service to economic development. So he had a lot of great traits. And, there's going to be a board there. Doug Singleton, as vice chair, has stepped up and is doing a really good job. There will be an opportunity for the governor at some point in time to appoint the replacement, life will go on. I got to see Elton a couple of weeks ago when he was in facility, and it just hurts you. It hurts you to be able to visit with him and see that strength of a man not in that position. His mind was still there. He was him and Doug Cody didn't know what.
Yeah.
Because it hadn't happened that he thought it needed to happen. And as a matter of fact, I shared with him that Joe Joseph had passed away, and he had not known that. Tears can't criticize, but one word that Doug used, that Joe Joseph used, and many others, is he loved people. He loved you, and Doug will tell you it hold his face in his hand and said, "I love you. I love you."
Right.
So we need more of that today.
That we do. Well, Todd, I thank you for coming in. People would ask me to have you on just to give some, your experience. You'll probably be speaking again because I think his service.
I'm honored to do that. Honored to share my reflections because he touched many lives.
Right. So I think that's on the 18th. Yes. Yes, sir. I think that's on the 18th. And at ASU, I believe. At the Acadome. Well, thank you. Listen, are the rumors true? I keep hearing the name Governor swirling around your name. Is that any truth to that room?
That is. Remember now,
yeah.
The mayor was the ultimate for me, man. Being the mayor of this great city. If I was going to continue in politics, I'd have tried again.
No, I got you.
When you get to my age, what you want to do, where you want to do, who you want to do it.
I can understand. Todd, thank you very much for giving us a reflection of Mr. Elton Dean, because I think you were the man to do it. Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Former Mayor of the City of Montgomery, Mr. Todd Strange, a reflection of Mr. Elton Dean. He shall be missed.
I'll miss you, my buddy. I'll miss you, my friend. I promise my love for you will never end. In your finest hour, I was there with you, and without you, things won't be the same. But there's a higher power that we answer to, and you heard him calling your name. Really gonna miss you.
We'll be back right after this message.
Yes, I know you want us all to be strong. Really gonna miss you. I know you've gone to that magic place, singing you a brand new song. I'll miss you, my buddy. I'll miss you, my friend.
1440. Sponsored by Lowe's. This Father's Day, treat Dad to gifts he wants at Lowe's, like saving $60 on your choice of DeWalt 20-volt Max brushless drill or Impact Driver Kit. Was $159, now $99. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, valid 6/9 to 6/15.
Another hot and humid day on the way. High temperatures around 92. There will be a complex of rain and storms that will dive southeastward across Mississippi this afternoon into this evening. and it will impact far west and southwest Alabama. Some late afternoon and evening showers, perhaps some storms possible. Elsewhere, mostly quiet. Tonight, upper 60s to around 70. Can't rule out a shower or storm, and a couple showers and storms Saturday. Highs around 91.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
You're my 7:30 guest.
Yes. I was wondering almost for a minute how I was going to get in the doors outside. That some guy came out and I was like, oh,
You're smoking? Oh, okay. Yeah. John Garrett from Mix 103. I mean, 502. Well, have a seat right there.
okay.
Okay.
I'm LaDonna.
Well, I'm Kevin Elvin.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Here's a brochure and information about our tennis tournament. I mean, let me bring coffee. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I can take it outside though while we're in here.
Just
Okay.
don't spill it on anything.
Okay, yeah, so maybe I'll put it out here just right there.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Here in the South,
I'm not accustomed to spilling, but just in case.
No, this
so when it comes to outdoor projects,
Life
you need
happens.
equipment that's
Yes,
fast,
it does.
durable, and easy to use. At SunSouth, that's exactly what you get with quality John Deere equipment, ready to tackle any project.
Thank you for
that comes
serving
your
our
way.
country,
Owning a
Mr.
John Deere
Veteran, I
is
see there.
Yeah, well, you know, someone had to do it.
I know.
I'm just one of millions. Not millions, but hundreds of
Come
thousands.
see us at
But I
SunSouth.
think it's such an honorable thing.
Yeah, but most of us join because we either broke or got nothing to do.
There's nothing
But
like
we
hearing the
stay
songs you love on
because
local radio.
of what we see.
No subscriptions and no monthly fees.
Because I mean, I don't know anybody that's went, well, patriotic on the joint army.
Get past, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to
Would you
play
like
the
them
music
yet?
you
No, I'm
love.
good. I'm good.
Text local.
But once you get there, you see all the troubles, the problems in the world, and you realize how blessed you are to live in the country. I've never come back from overseas and wanted to stay where I was.
National Association of
I've always kissed the ground.
Right.
Being a part of the team always feels good.
Yes, sir.
Don't
You know, not-
hesitate.
For more than a decade, Major League Baseball.
You can call in because I got a guest right now. Or you can come up with Aranda if you want to.
Get there and realize how much
Hey.
you can change someone's life. It's one of the best feelings in the world.
Yeah, because I think he's just going to talk about this new basketball thing and stuff like that. And
5 or
so,
10
you
minutes
know.
of your time is making a difference and is transforming someone else's life.
All-stars Giancarlo Stanton and Chris Capuano join action team captains
Yeah,
to
that's
make
fine.
a difference in their communities. And you can too.
All right.
Just try it. Just go to one event, one action team event.
Okay.
We all show up
Thank you.
together.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's not just one person. It's a group.
Yeah, it'll be open by then. Yeah, the door's open by then.
Incredibly
All right.
rewarding for me.
Mhm.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to
Oh, Lordy. So you from Alabama?
I am.
Montgomery?
Yes, I was born in Belleville, Illinois, but we moved here when I was 1. So, but my mother's side family is here, and my dad was in Illinois. Well, my mom, this is where she was born and raised, and we have, all of mom's side families all here. And then, but Illinois, she met my dad there because her stepfather was in Scott Air Force Base. Yeah, and so when we moved back home, really.
Well, we kind of like neighbors. I was born in South Bend,
Okay.
Indiana.
Wow. And what brought you here?
Chasing a woman.
Yeah, it'll happen.
When temperatures are extreme, reduce or eliminate strenuous activities during the hottest times of the day.
That's a story in
Protect
itself.
yourself from the sun.
Although somebody asked me years ago, where's the place you're going to be living?
People in parked vehicles.
Alabama wasn't no today. But something about this place, when you get here, you can keep saying you're leaving all you want to.
It pulls you in.
You never do.
Yeah.
You never do.
Yeah.
And the thing about Alabama, even though it has this reputation of its relationships between people, the relationship between black and white is worse in Chicago and Illinois than it is in places else.
That's what I hear.
I mean, here you pretty much know where you are. Put those headphones on.
Depend on it.
Okay, kill that one. And good morning. Don't forget, this hour of our show being brought to you by none other than J.O. Lane Truck and Auto. Go to JOLaneTruckandAuto.com, and if you need a car, they got them for you. Go to the website, J.L. Lane Truck and Auto, and you can find a plethora of cars. Okay, plethora. Let me use another word. You will find many cars up there. So check it out. And they got some great deals. I'll give you the inventory next hour and let you know some of the things that they have for you to choose from. Okay, so I'm just saying it's a pretty good folks over there. So here's a number you want to call. Ask for Steve, 272-4313. That's 272-4213. Again, JLLaneTruckandAuto.com. Go there right now. You can go there with your pajamas on or no jammies on. I don't care. You're at home. You can do your shopping. You know, kind of like working at home these days. Anyway, got a special guest in. Come on up a little closer there, my dear, to that microphone right there. And let's tell the folks who you are.
I'm LaDonna Brindle with Reality and Truth Ministries.
Okay. And what do they do?
Well, they do a lot. We are a small organization that has 6 outreaches. One of them, and our largest one by far, is our One Church Mission. And that's where we meet the spiritual and physical needs of our poor community in Montgomery, Alabama. Specifically, downtown is our focus area. And there we have dinners, we have Bible studies, we have Bible messages daily, we have clothes, hygienes, we arrange for people to get IDs and birth certificates, anything that you need to move forward in life. We had a day center early on, and then we closed it temporarily till our permanent facility was complete, and it's been working for a while. And maybe this year is the year, but there we'll have showers, laundry, hair salon, computer stations. The idea is that people need a place to be during the day. They need a place where resources are met. They need a place where they can feel like they have a home in this season of transition. Some of them are short seasons, some of them are very, very long seasons. And just spend time with God's people who will love them and treat them like this is your home, and encourage them and give them hope that today is not the end all. That they need to have a vision for something different than what they're experiencing now, or have been maybe for many, many years. And so that's our focus, and everything we do is definitely bringing God's word. And so in our thoughts, it's like all day long, you get opportunities to just, those teaching nuggets all day long of God's word, just through interaction and fellowship and being a family type environment. That's our largest outreach. Our second one is The Well. It's a women's house for women coming out of prison. We learned before, I learned before I ever started an organization, was that there were women coming out of prison that were expected to pay rent right away. They had a job, and the houses that some of them were in that I visited way back when, about 20 years ago, were, it was very stressful. It was stressful in the environment, which, as you can imagine, a bunch of women in a house with in transition. And then also sometimes the bills weren't paid. There may not be a program. So just different things. And the Lord just kind of told in my heart that things need to be different. And so we have a home. And when they come out of prison, I pick them up directly from prison. I want to be the first person they meet for my ministry. And we have a team that does, all the different things throughout the year. But we house them free for 1 year. And we don't pile a bunch of women in one room. It's one woman per bedroom, because, that's reality. When you're an adult, you don't share rooms with other women, And so,
well, unless you're in the Army.
Unless you're in the Army.
Yeah.
And so, if you've been in prison for a while, then you've been there, done that. It's time to real transition is to practice being what it's like in the free world. So we take them for this 1 year, and we mentor them, we disciple them, and each quarter of that year, we study something different from a faith-based workbook. The first one is making peace with your past. You have to deal with your past. You cannot move forward in life unless you've dealt with your past, the good, bad, and the ugly. And all of us have one. And the second quarter is healthy relationships. You are who you hang out with. Emotionally healthy relationships matter in the workforce and the family and friendships and your stability, really. And so we do that. And then the third quarter, we do financial stewardship. You have to know how to manage your money. A lot of the...
When you get some.
When you get some, that's right. And so that's the idea. And you'd be surprised. I did a survey, a little hand-up survey with a group one time that was serving an organization. And I was sharing about this part of our ministry. And I said, so raise your hand if your parents ever taught you how to manage your money. Not one. And I wasn't surprised, because I know that whether you're rich or poor, that's sometimes not happening. We just assume that's just going to be in their brain or something. I don't know. But that's the third part. And the fourth part, which is my favorite, is a developed prayer life. I personally believe that if you have a healthy prayer life, you're talking to God, you're listening to God, then you will be successful, period, no matter what you're doing, because you will be in your sweet spot of what God made you to be. You're created for specific works from Him, and specific natural gifts, specific spiritual gifts if you're born again. And that's a beautiful place to be in. And it doesn't matter how much money or how little money, it's really perfect because it's His way. And so that's our second one. Our third one is we do missions in Tel Aviv once or twice a year. We have our next trip July 5th through the 30th. We go to the same people group that we serve here. They're like their downtown area has the same type of people like in ours. For summer prostitutes and the drug dealers and all that area. We just focus.
Drug dealers in Tel Aviv?
Yes. Can you believe that? The first time I did a missions trip over there, the guy that was kind of telling us a little bit, it's like the holy ghetto. I mean, it's like really. Yes, it's not what you think about when you think of the Holy Land, but Tel Aviv is not the Holy Land. Tel Aviv is it's like a New York, really. And so there's an area where there's brothels and a lot of darkness. So that's the focus that we spend there. And our thing in ministry is where God has really called us, is to be where people are that most people don't want to deal with. And I'm so thankful, because I know this is the biggest challenge because of how people treat them and that sort of thing. So we go there and we love it, and we serve a couple organizations, and then we do street outreach there, and we do teaching missions in other places where the churches. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of churches.
Well, that's true. Let me ask you a question. One of the things that I've always, and each demographic has its particularities, particular things, but it does bother me when we say I got for women. A man is in the same position that the woman is in.
Right.
So why do we focus so much sometimes on women and kind of like dispatch the males to the side?
Right. That's a good question. For me personally, because I'm a woman, and so it's not.
Well, at least you know you are. So you're not.
Right. Right. No, it's true. I do see that a lot of, and even let's go a little deeper, in that we have a lot of focus on youth.
I can understand children, but women and men, and a poor man is just the same as a poor woman.
It is. And in our mission, actually, there are more. It's probably 90% men that come in. And then in the women's house, obviously, it's just women. And so, but I don't, I have some thoughts. The role of man has changed over the generation.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And so, for instance, the church that equipped me for ministry, it's not my home church now, but they equipped me for ministry. There were a plethora, I'm going to use your word, a plethora of Bible study options for women, just a ton of them. Every quarter you could choose, depending on what subject matter you wanted to grow in the Lord in. And when you grow in the Lord, it brings you to the place to lead or to do whatever He's called you to do. And then for men, maybe onesies or twosies, and we're talking a huge church, and so I don't know. Maybe men feel like because they're working all day, or I don't know. So I think that if more men were focused on, and you asked the question, I'm just giving my thoughts, off the top of my head. I've not really spent a lot of time thinking about it, but I think if more men said, okay, even though I'm working hard all day to provide for my family, whatever, but I need to invest in my growth in the Lord, and I believe the Lord would tug at the heart to do more, like, okay, a men's house, or like you're saying, why do we think about women so much? And then also, not only that we have become, we're kind of formed like, you make your own way, and you pay your way, and you provide. You rely on nobody but yourself. That's kind of the American.
Well, that's
dream,
American way.
That's
true. Let's tell the people who you are again for the folks who just now tuning in.
Okay. I'm LaDonna Brindle with Reality and Truth Ministry.
Reality and Truth Ministries, and you focus on
just the broken and meeting spiritual and physical needs and teaching through those and teaching through other avenues.
Mm-hmm. And you guys got something coming up here soon? Or?
We do. We have a tennis tournament, our 13th annual Tennis for Truth tournament and silent auction fundraisers, July 1st.
Okay. And where does that take place at?
It takes place at Wind Lakes Golf and Country Club.
Okay. Okay. And the money that's derived from this goes toward the funding of the programs that you have.
Yeah, 6 of them.
You have a. Do you still have the day house? What do we call it? The daycare center.
The day center.
The day center.
What we have is a temporary location, so it's just a couple hours each day until our permanent facility open, and which the funding all our funding goes there mainly to just develop that, and yeah. And
then it's going to be a place where people can come and get a shower, look at a computer, do a resume. And one of the things you brought up that I must admit I never really thought a lot about, but it's easy for me to say get a job. It's easy for me to go by a guy that's sitting on there with a sign forever and tell him to get a job. Although some of them need to be told that. But it's difficult when you don't have a place to stay. It's difficult when you don't have an address, you don't have a phone. However, a lot of them got cell phones. So.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but how do you discern who's shooting you the bull?
Well, can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
I don't know how much time we have. I can't remember how much time I have. But anyways, so you brought up such a good point, because before we started the whole idea with the day center, I did the same thing. We were feeding dinner outside, and I would pray with everybody, and most people said they want a job. That was their prayer request. Mm-hmm. And so at the time, I volunteered at my church at the time that had a job exchange. So I said, well, I'll pick you up to one of the guys. You want to go? We'll go get a job tomorrow. So I came to pick him up. He went and get in the car, and he looked at me. I'm like, come on, let's get in the car. You want a job? We're going to get a job. If you want it, you can get it. That's my firm belief, right? Mm-hmm. And so he said, look at me. And I looked at him. I need a shower. I need a shave. I need a haircut. I need clean clothes. No one's going to hire me looking like this. And it's like this big light bulb came on in my head. And I thought, wow, he is right. I didn't even pay attention. Because I've been there, done that, where I was very outward focused and judge. And, with the Lord.
We all have.
Yes. And so I didn't even think about it, but he was so right. I was shocked that there was no way to do that here in Montgomery at the time. And so, yes, we do. There are things that are limitations and hindrances to that. And so, as far as discerning, back to your question, I'm just going to you maybe think about that story whenever you're talking about getting a job. For me, we take a holistic approach to ministry. And so when we are in there, wherever we are, whether it's the mission or the women's house, whatever, we kind of just see what they want, what they're ready for, because not everybody's ready for a job because of their or their addictions, and maybe that's what they need, a program too. And then we try to connect them to what they need next. But the ones who aren't ready, we just let them come and eat and get clothes and do whatever. But their time is going to come. I've seen it through the years. 14 years I've been doing this ministry, and so I've seen it. Everybody's got a breaking point. Everybody's at a point where of no return. Everybody's at a point where like, okay, I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. I'm finally tired, And so it's just a long suffering type of ministry.
Do you? And I would hope that church organization like yours don't have this conflict with other organizations that do the same thing that you guys are doing. Mm-hmm. I guess what I'm asking, do you work with other organizations that do this? So if you can't provide something, then maybe they can provide something for the person.
Yes, definitely. So the beauty of serving this community is that all the organizations are very collaborative and very unified, which is wonderful. Like if there's someone, as I was at a meeting yesterday, the mayor has a homeless task force, and so one of the
we got enough task force.
I know. I was talking to the advisor yesterday, and he's like, "We're going to be an action force." I said, "Yes," and so we'll,
I'm dependent on you guys.
Okay, well, thank you. I hope so. So yes, we're excited because we've all, some of us expressed we're not meeting for meeting's sake. We, actually happen. So, I'm not a friend of meetings really myself because there's too much work to be done. So, example, yes. So I was telling one of the directors, I said, hey, this guy's come to the mission and he stays over there by your new facility, but he's hungry, and I know y'all are doing these other kind of programs, but you do a feeding program somewhere else. I said, I told him to come see you. You'll have some food. He says, yes. I said, good. And so we do. We collaborate. We call. We share. We share resources. Different. It's a beautiful. The homeless organizations really do collaborate well. It's wonderful.
So the day center is not open yet, though.
No.
Okay.
No.
And when you anticipate that being open?
You know, I anticipated 2013. And I realized that, well, I guess my plans and God's are just different, because we were in a rental that was, it was maximum capacity. It could not fit any more people coming in and out during the day. I mean, it was so packed. But the Lord reminded me during COVID, he said, aren't you glad the new facility's not open? I said, yes, sir. You know what happened? We lost all our leaders. And so
you lost them all?
Yeah, like they stepped back because of COVID, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You know, we didn't have, and our organization doesn't have paid staff. Everybody is a volunteer or a missionary.
Okay.
And so we rely heavily on leadership and volunteers and volunteer leaders. So that would have been, you know, it's easier to get somebody to commit to an hour or two, but an all-day thing, you know, that would have been on me.
Especially during COVID.
Which it wouldn't have been a bad thing if I didn't have to run the business, you know, marketing and all that stuff. So yes, but maybe this year's the year. We'll see. It's coming along really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, tell the folks who you are again and what you guys got coming up.
Okay. I'm LaDonna Brindle with Reality and Truth Ministries. Our organization serves the homeless and poor Montgomery and the women in transition, and then we do cross-cultural missions. And we have our 13th annual Tennis for Truth tournament and silent auction fundraiser coming up on July 1st at Windlake's Golf and Country Club in the evening. And we're going to have a flutist there this year. We're always trying to add a little something different. One of the exciting things I am so overjoyed about is that we will have a woman given in our ministry moment, instead of me sharing about the ministry, because most of the players have been playing every year, and it's our 13th. One of the women that's going to share, she used to come to our day center that we had in the past, and she's going to share how it changed her life and how she overcame addiction, and she's no longer homeless and has her own business and a family, and it's just a beautiful story. And one of the great things about social media, you get to hear back from people you haven't seen in maybe several years. They say, hey, by the way, you may not remember me, but I love that when that happens. So,
is there a number where people can call who want to participate?
Yes, certainly. You can call 334-354-6142. You can also go to tennisfortruth.com, www.tennisfortruth.com, and you can email realityandtruth@live.com.
It sounds like you guys got some direction. You have a mission, and it seems like you're on you are sticking to that mission.
Yeah.
And now the one thing I like about you could come up here and actually talk about what I mean. Often many people sit in that seat over there, and you got to like pull things out of people. Just I didn't have to do that with you, and that's good. Now again, the 354-6142 is that a voicemail or is that
It's our office number, but our office is a remote office
Okay.
because again, our volunteers
Gotcha.
answer the phone. Yes,
But they can leave a message.
They can leave a message, and if someone doesn't answer the phone, Meredith, if she doesn't answer the phone, they can leave a message, and she'll return the call. And she sorts through what direction that call needs to go to, whether it's her, whether it's me, whether it's someone else, and that's how we work that, which is such a blessing.
Okay, and the name of your organization again, and I say it slow. Say it slow. Say it slow.
Reality and Truth Ministries.
And you are actually located where? Or is there a place? Is there a church?
Yeah, so
everything remote?
Yeah, we work remote. We had an office on South Perry Street, and that building was sold recently. And so we moved our office to our new facility, and God is so good. The week before that building was sold, our offices in our day center that we're developing were completed. So we moved all our stuff to those two offices, and but I'm working, from my house mostly.
So have you had an occasion when somebody would come in there to act as if they were so down and out, and really they weren't? They were just trying to be manipulative.
Never, because it would, people they're not very proud of coming in and asking for stuff. I mean, the people we've met, you know, as a matter of fact, that some of them will pretend not to be homeless so that they're not embarrassed of their situation.
And you have just validated a point I make. A guy who sits out there all day long with a sign,
Amen.
probably, you know, people who are proud, people who have worked most of their life and call them, they are proud people, and it hurts them to have to ask. But the guy who makes a living asking, you know, I ain't really too much on him. I mean, if you can set someplace for 8 hours holding up a sign, you got energy.
Right.
Okay? And I'm just thinking maybe,
Right.
you know, but again, I understand not having a job and not having. But right now, is there a place for anybody to get a shower downtown if they just looked up and got an interview? There's no place in town.
No, well, not downtown, but Mercy House is in West Montgomery.
That's the Austin.
Yes,
Mhm.
and I'm told by appointment they have a couple of, you know, they have some shower options throughout the week by
Mhm.
appointment only. So, but yes, which is a blessing because they were not around when we were our first day center. So I was happy that something came along, even though it was not downtown where our
Right.
focus is. After that, we closed that temporary place.
Right. I think the bus goes over there. Of course, the buses are expensive now
I
too.
know. We need something
everything.
done about that for the poor.
I do know that the bus terminal will, I think, donate some passes. So maybe I'll see if I can get some and let you know. And,
I would love that.
And
Thank you.
see if they'll, ante up some.
That would be wonderful.
To give it, because if you're already broke, I'm just give you a story. I got here. I didn't have any money. I needed a job, so I look in the newspaper and see people. Okay, so I had about $2.50 on me, and the bus was $1, $2. Right. So I said, okay, I got to take a chance. I put my last money in the bus thing. Figure how to walk back, and I get there, and the guy says, "Oh, we're just taking an application. We really not hiring." Really? I don't mind losing all my money if there's a shot that I can get a job. But to have me come out there with my last dime,
right?
And you're not hiring.
Broken system all the way around.
Oh well. Thank you for coming in. And again, there's a number of people can reach it, and it's called Reality and Truth Ministry. Don't we wish they all were? And so you can do that. And the number again, you can probably leave a message and they'll get back with you, 354-6142. And tell the folks your name one more time.
LaDonna Brindle.
LaDonna.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. And the tennis thing is?
July 1st.
And it's going to be at Wind Lakes
Golf and Country Club.
So people can call this number and find out a little bit more. Now, do you have all the participants that are going to partake in the tournament?
No, we're still signing up. You can actually sign up on that tennisfortruth.com website. You can sign up to play. You can sign up just to donate. And there'll be, some hors d'oeuvres there. And so even if you don't play tennis, you can come out.
Okay. Good. Well, thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll be back.
Have a blessed day.
For WSFA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
So much.
Yes, ma'am. It was nice having somebody who actually can talk.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. It was a blessing. And, it's just, I love what we're doing. And so.
Yeah, I do too.
Lord is good.
I don't understand with all the empty buildings we have in town, why somebody hasn't, and there's a lot of money in this town.
And they don't want to spend it.
They won't.
But we need a place where the market.
A shower
dropped more than 6% in the last year.
Before
even I use gas prices continue to go up. Right now, the average in Alabama is $4.62 a gallon. The national average is $4.98 a gallon. It's a big day here at WSFA 12 News. Our summer fun and food drive is going on right now. Well, cruise at the Renfro's off Chantilly Parkway until 7 o'clock this evening, collecting food and cash donations for the Montgomery Area Food Bank. That serves more than half the counties in our state. We will have volunteers and members of the WSFA 12 News team out there all day taking your donations. You can also donate on WSFA.com.
News Radio 1440 WLWI AM, the home of Sean Hannity. Also on 95.1 HD.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack at the Capitol has laid out some of its findings during a primetime hearing last night. But first, the latest inflation report just out shows consumer prices surged 8.6% last month, faster than April's surge of 8.3%. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger on some of the areas impacted.
The energy index continues to lead the way, up 34.6% over the last year. Food also increased by 10.1%.
Now back to the January 6th public hearing of last night. CBS's Scott McFarland is here with the details.
Newly released video, the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol laid out their findings for the first time in public in a rare prime-time hearing Thursday night. Some of the Capitol police officers who defended Congress and their families watched in the room, overcome with emotion as they relived the deadly day.
At that point, I had blacked out, but my back of my head clipped the concrete stairs behind me.
One injured officer, Caroline Edwards, described it as a war zone.
Representative Adam Kinzinger is one of two Republicans on the January 6th committee.
There is a threat to democracy. That's the most important thing. Even more than accountability out of this is for the American.
You know, normally I have a hard time getting anybody to come in there most of the time. Today I get everybody want to be on. Hey, I see you still got the basketball thing. Okay, because I saw that.
CBS's Lily Luciano has the
That's
latest.
something good you're doing. I ain't much into sports very much, but it's better to have people doing sports and shooting. Getting something to do.
For the chief told the Texas
you wanna-
Tribune he
We got a little while before we go on.
police had taken charge.
So what's your name, young man?
Despite
Nick
weeks
Rankin.
of reports,
Who?
Arredondo
Nick Rankin.
ordered
I
tactical
think I
teams
saw your
not
name
to
on
reach the
that
classrooms.
flyer.
He told the Tribune Thursday he did no such thing.
I
The
couldn't
mass shooting
sleep
at the
last
Robb
night after
Elementary School
watching.
killed 19 children and 2 adults.
Man,
Nationwide, demonstrations are planned
those
tomorrow to
officers
protest the
testifying.
lack of action.
Oh, man, listen.
They
I wouldn't. Listen, that's a charade. That's a force. That's a front. That's a bunch of crap. First of all them Negroes shooting, killing people across America last year, doing the Black Lives Matter people, killing people, tearing down people's buildings, burning up black folks' businesses, black folks burning up black folks' businesses. Huh? Nobody got prosecuted.
This weekend.
The
Nobody.
dangerous heat extends all the way into the Central Valley of
They
California.
killing people. You got a group of people that took over 6 blocks of Seattle. You want to talk about sedition? Took over 6 blocks of Seattle, formed their own government, which is totally a violation of the United States Constitution.
What was the percentage of blacks that was it?
Do you know
It don't matter. No, but black folks, they took a truck coming down Kings Highway in St. Louis. You ever been there?
So what do you
Stop the truck.
Don't agree
Pull
with
the
your
man
search
out
results.
of the
Call
truck.
Reputation Defender at
FedEx. And a black man got ran over by the back wheels of the truck because when nobody paid no attention, they were too busy stealing TV. So listen, don't tell me what in Washington D.C. That was made for TV things. Them people had a right to be pissed off. Now they didn't have a right to break in, but it's their house.
We also promote the good stuff.
It's our house. See, the people in Washington D.C. think that house belongs to them. That's our house. The one I served when I went to harm way folk, that's our house. It ain't their house.
I didn't give permission to go to my house.
They don't need your permission. They don't need your permission. Now, again, what, I must admit, when I looked at all that glass, I said, "What you doing, Craig?" But there was a bunch of Republicans. At least they say they were Republicans.
But everybody in there was,
But everybody has we have a right by our Constitution to redress grievances to our government. They weren't listening. And even though you can't say they stole the election, they manipulated that election out the wazoo. There's a Dinesh D'Souza. Do you realize that they had people who went to 40 different places? And you know how they know it? Because they tracked them by their cell phone. There are 40 different places and pick up ballots and take them to a main place and put them at 12 o'clock at night.
what if they was doing they was transporting?
Okay. They were transported. That's the problem. So listen, I don't get me started. Trump, I feel that black folks did a hell of a lot better under Trump than they're doing under this summer gun right now. I can barely, you got to make a decision right now. Do you pay the rent? Do you buy some gas? Do you buy some food? What are we going to buy? And everybody using this situation to go up on everything. Rent going up, food going up. Do we have that under Trump?
I think we did.
Oh, come on, man. we got to stop it. Black folks got to stop being manipulated by the Democratic Party. I'm just saying, logic and reason seem to have left us. We the poorest things in town. Our city's got more people shooting than anybody in the country. No, ain't no other group shooting each other the way we are.
But the good thing about it, you have to vote Democrat in the primary since you did since you got the wrong ballot this time. Because I don't want you to go to jail.
they ticked me off, and I was looking at it. I was looking at what's his name. I said, yeah, I'll vote for him. Because Calhoun thought he did too good to come answer questions. But we got to look at these people with a jaundiced eye and looking for the truth. Democrats are manipulating the hell out of black people. They've been doing it for 40, 50, 60 years. And we're still in the same boat as a group of people that we've always been in. We ain't doing no better. No better. Okay, now I know you're a Democrat.
Well, you may not know that we have equipment for clearing lots for construction.
But somebody once said when everybody thinking the same way, somebody ain't thinking.
Cut roads, clear fence lines,
That's all I can say. When the whole group of we the only group of people in America that vote 98% for one party. We're the only group. Even the Mexican side of the Democrats now. They voting 50-50 Republican and Democrat. We're the only group. And we're the only one that ain't getting jack for it. Well, your boy did go in office and give us more food stamps.
And let us transform your overgrown property.
He cut out thousands of jobs and said we're going to upgrade the SNAP program. And right now I need some damn food stamps. They're taking the gas program. Okay, now it's it. Did you tell them when you're going to run into when they come up?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I ain't against Democrats, all of them, because I like some of them. I mean, I talked to you.
Don't get his tea too. He got his tea.
Now I got the tea. I'm gonna get the tea. I need some help.
I've been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Thought the problem was because of her.
So what you do for living there, Mr. Rankin?
I'm the district analytic director down in Lowndes County.
For erectile
Oh,
dysfunction.
you down there real black.
My wife is visit from
They're the good ones.
I agree. Something happens to you when you come to my job. You see these big old buildings and see these fine cars and university places. Yeah, something happens to you. No, Lowndes County.
3663 or go to
Big John's area down there.
Oh yeah.
That boy ain't going to court yet.
No, that's it.
Trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free.
How much time you want, man?
ZipRecruiter.com.
1 hour. You said 1 hour, don't we?
ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you.
You really need an hour?
Technology identifies people.
We'll see how it goes. Oh, 30 minutes.
Because you start boring, I'm going to put you out.
Hope you don't put me out.
Yeah, I don't want to. You know, but you do what man got to do. What the city council meeting the other day. I'm with Audrey. I think I am. All this survey and study to study what we already know.
So now, that's right. It's only a resolution, so that resolution only giving us permission to move forward. Resolution not doing anything saying that this is what we're actually going to do. It's just giving us permission to move forward. So it's still a conversation that has to be had. But
well, have Calhoun made that abundantly clear that it's.
So we have meetings. You know, we got a meeting on the 13th on Monday. And so a lot of people was like, hey, let's carry this over to Monday. But, you know, Calhoun was like, well, what would it change from?
Well, I heard what he said, but And we are back. Good morning, everybody. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440. Let me tell you about the sponsor who's bringing you this hour. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you need a car, I know you need one because you're riding down the street. I hear your car coming halfway up the road, which means that you need a car. Let me put it this way. When it looked like the mosquito people out there blowing smoke all in the air, and that's your car, you need a car. So here's the deal. I'm going to tell you where you can go get yourself a nice car, okay? And that would be JL Truck and Auto Service, okay? Not auto service, but auto. That's where they sell cars at. And right now, if you're in a need for a 2005 Lexus RX 330, I mean, if you want to drive good, you want to look good while you're driving, that's where you want to go. And don't worry about your credit. Don't worry about your credit. Now, most people, when I say don't worry about credit, it makes me worry about my credit. but not these folks. Okay, Mr. Lane and them down there, they know how it is. They've been the same place we've been, and they're trying not to get back there. Give them a call, 272-4313, and you can buy there and you can pay there. So you don't have to worry about GMC, Ford, any of them other folks, PNC Bank, Max Credit. You don't have to worry about none of that. He'll help you get yourself. Like somebody once said, I stole this. I didn't come up with it. You can trade in them heels for some wheels. I'm just trying to tell you, it's tired of walking. If you're tired of walking, okay, you need to go over there and see JL Lane Truck and Auto. Go to the website, JL Lane Truck and Auto, .com, and you can find yourself all kinds of cars, things there that, and you can look at them inside them, all kinds of pictures. I say they're great cars. Okay, and I ain't talking about 1998 cars. If they do got a 98 car, it looked like a 2008. I'm just trying to tell you, they're not selling you bad stuff. They're giving you good stuff. So again, go there and give them a call. 272-4313 is the number. My guest this morning, Aronde Mitchell, who is the one of our city councilmen, I believe it's District 6, and we have another Mr. Rankin. He is with us from Lowndes County. They have joined forces, I think, and started up the again for the second annual basketball thing. Now, when I first heard about this basketball, I said black folks got enough basketballs. But then I said to myself, wait a minute. If you're playing basketball, you're doing something that is productive. One thing, give you exercise. Secondly, it lets you build camaraderie, and it helps you get to know people in your community. So there's so many great things about this. So I did slap myself around it when I figured out that I was stupid about that. So it does happen sometimes. But good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Rankin. Tell the folks who you are there, Mr. Rankin.
My name is Nick Rankins. I'm the executive director for Young Men on a Mission nonprofit mentoring program here in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay. And your goal, your mission with that is to do what?
We're mentoring young men between the grades of 3rd through 12th. We focus on family, education, social activities, and community service.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What do you think? Not that I don't know this, because I got a couple gray hair and you don't. Okay, you got a couple of them. What do you think the biggest problem? And I ask both of you guys. I know what I think the biggest problem is in our communities when it comes to these young men. But through your research, through your experience with them, what do you think the biggest thing that is missing in our children's lives? I already know, but I just want y'all to say.
I'd say positive male role models. We don't see a lot of them in our communities, in our homes, and that's what we're trying to change. We have so many coaches that called us from last year and said, you know what, I had a wonderful time mentoring these young men, and I want to do it again. So when they are seeing, people that look like them, and give them the time, because they're volunteering, so they don't have to. It goes a long way with these young men.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mr. Rankin?
Basically what he said, just the role models, having somebody to look up to and give them something new, because of course we know with the music and everything they hear, they're pretty much being raised by that. So just putting positive people around them that they can understand, that they can achieve in life, that's great.
I want to have intertwine a little reality here. Listen, men and women have been breaking up since the beginning of time. But the one thing that seems somewhat tough now, men today, a lot of young guys seem to just walk away from the kids. They don't want to actively participate. And now what the impediments are, I don't know. You can talk to anybody you want to talk to, and everybody's got well, she won't let me see him. She won't let me do that. I've seen people with court orders say they can pick up their child, and the women still don't let them pick up their child. And then the police comes and they tell them, well, you got to go back to court when you're sitting there with the papers in your hand. Do you think it's our system? Why do you believe that so many men are just walking away from their children?
So some of them are not walking away voluntarily.
Okay.
Some of them are walking away due to incarceration. Some of them are walking away due to being shot or killed. So we have to look at those factors as well. So,
but even shot or killed, though, that means there's still a problem in our.
Yeah, but like I said, they're not. I don't want people to say that, hey, every household is a silver household, because you can have some two-parent home and those kids still may get into trouble. So It's sometimes that it's circumstances may prevent that other person from being involved, because it could be the mother that's absent. So it's sometimes it's just situations that's
that happen. I mean, that's the way I raised them. That way. I'm just saying that. But it seems that our young, you don't have to live in a house with them, but you have to be involved. Go by the school, call them on the phone, see what's up with them, get a report, something. We just seem not to be. Our young men today don't seem to be involved in that much.
But also, it's generational. If I didn't have a father in my household, who would teach me how to be a father? And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing with these young men. We have some men that are teaching them, first of all, how to be men. Then they'll learn how to be a father. So a lot of that, like I said, is not taught in school. It's not a course in high school that you can say, hey.
Yeah, we got a hard time with the guy in high school, so we're gonna leave that to dad or somebody like that. So when does the sign up start for your basketball term, and who's eligible and who isn't?
It starts Monday. We'll be 10 through 12-year-old. We're going to reach out to the community centers and Boys and Girls Club or YMCAs, whatever young people they want through 10 through 12, so we can get that group of kids that we know that are at those centers, so we can put that mentorship into them. And then we'll have 13 through 15. That'll be in the evening time. So pretty much they can call, register, starting on Monday, and then we'll do a draft to put those guys, so nobody won't stack a team. So we'll draft. We'll give.
You mean like some of the private schools do? I ain't saying that, but I'm just saying that's where it goes sometimes. So what about the 16-year-olds and the 17-year-olds?
Well, this year, if we have a lot of calls for a 16 to 18-year-old, we'll get that opportunity. Basically, we know that working with the younger kids, like you said, we're putting those role models.
Because you can mold the younger kids,
right? Yeah. Not to put the 16 to 18-year-old, because if we get a lot of calls and say, hey, we want to play, then we'll go with those guys as well. So starting at 10 through 12. 13 through 15, that just gives us a way to work with those younger kids to put them in a positive environment.
And what do you guys need people to help you with? Or is it financed already? Y'all got all the money in the world and just need people?
So we need it all. We need mentors, we need coaches, we need sponsors. We need everything that will make this successful. And Montgomery has always supported positive things, and we're looking to do it again. And let me stop and say, I would be remiss if I didn't give condolences to Commissioner Elton Dean Sr. He always said that Montgomery is a family. It's like a two-storage house with 4 rooms. You got the west side, you got the east side, you got the south side, and you have the north side. So we have to remain that. We have to stick together as a family, as he said.
Absolutely. I don't know how to play basketball. I mean, I know you throw the ball in the hoop, but since I was the only kid in my neighborhood that every time they had a pickup game, they left me sitting on the curb because I was short, so nobody picked the brother up. And I probably got some psychological issues still this day because I'd have still been sitting right there had I not just got him walked away. I mean, so why don't y'all need a short man team?
So what we can use you for, what we do before each game, before each practice, we have individuals to come in and speak to our young men.
Okay.
So you can talk to them because they are not getting, you can be a broadcaster. They're not getting, you could be a radio host.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that we want to see them, people we want them to talk to because they're not getting those individuals in the.
But that ain't helping the short guys. I'm just saying. We need a team.
They can see how tall you are.
Yeah, no. Wait a minute. I mean that the team. We need to have a short man team because every time the tall guys get together, they look us over. I mean, y'all know I ain't lying. Especially you. I know you taller than we need a short man, and I guarantee you, those short man team will probably whip the snot out some of them tall boys.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, I gotta take a break. We'll come back. Y'all think I got issues from the past? I do. But anyway, we'll come back. Our guest is we got Mr. Rankin and Mr. Aronde Mitchell in talking about the new. What's the official name of the organization?
It's this will be the 2nd annual Roderick D. Scott Championship Tournament.
And Mr. Scott, from what I understand, was a young man who went to Lee High School,
Yes, sir.
and something happened to him.
He had a car accident. and was
Okay.
killed. So it's an honor just to continue to honor his name with his mom,
Right.
Miss Scott, to just keep his legacy alive.
Well, that's good. I appreciate that. We'll be back right after this message. Again, our show this hour has been brought to you by J.L. Lane Truck and Auto. Want a good car? You need a good automobile? You don't need a whole lot of hassle. You don't have to worry about pulling it off the lot and somebody bringing it back the next day. You want to go see them right now. They're at 208 Gun Road, Montgomery, Alabama, 272-4313. And you don't have to just buy your kids a car. You can buy your grandkids a car. You can buy their grandkids a car. You can buy an employee a car. Show people how much you care. Okay, but no, Mr. Calhoun had a saying that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, which is what these guys are doing. I don't know if that applies to a car, but you know, it sounds good. We'll be back.
Hey, guess who his son is? You know, when we did our 500 band march on the Capitol, his son was the one who was taking the pictures.
Okay.
And did the drone, you know, did the video. Yeah, that was his son.
Okay. Yeah, he's something special.
Yeah, he good with it.
Yeah,
Good with it. So, and that's my thing is, Kevin, where did he pick that up from? Where did he? That's what I'm saying. Did he get it from school? You know, what made him? And that's what we were trying.
I had bought some cameras.
Okay.
Wanted to be like him, but it wasn't gonna happen because it takes more than buying a camera to make you a photographer. And he just started doing and kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And that's what our kids are missing. A lot of them don't want to spend the time to get the trade, you know. But that boy, I bought him a $600 camera back when I was a little bit poor. And of course he lost it. But and most of it he just got on his own, you know. Because I told him at 18, you got 60 days to get out. You need to find something to do. I tried to put him in the military, but he wasn't ready for that.
And I guess that's the thing too now, you know, like my father's generation, pretty much all his friends, military, then went to college. Yeah. Nowadays, I don't even, is it still an option, Nick?
Yeah.
We just came off a summer.
No, I'm saying, do many of your students go to the military? Are you seeing them
down there?
Down there?
Yeah.
But there's opportunities down there just very limited. Right here. I mean, you know, but you know, another thing, kids see the product, but they don't see the process. And therein line, we got to get them to understand there's a process to driving a new car. At 16, you don't get a new car unless you live on, you know, east side, and most of them go right ready to go.
Or phone or emails. Was she, you know, grilled 8 hours before the committee? No. Neither was Bowser. Neither was Schumer.
I didn't know
neither were either sergeant at arms. Neither was the DC police chief, from what I could tell. But they interviewed 1,000 other people.
Oh, my life.
Kennedy Show.
My dad and
Coast to Coast later today.
So, you know, I know his oldest son. I was pretty much in school with his oldest son, Dino.
Yeah, I didn't know there was an LD unit.
Yes. Now, Brandon is younger than I am, so I really don't remember Brandon until I got to college. But I knew his oldest son throughout
to beat America in the race for new technologies and increase the risk of cyber attacks. When liberals attack America's tech innovators, they're really attacking everyday Americans and Main Street businesses.
Mr. Rankin, had you ever listened to my show?
And the online privacy of the American people are all on the line.
I've listened to it a couple
Why
times.
would Senate conservatives support this liberal agenda?
I need to get my act together.
We need to stop
to get my act together. You need to listen every day. You never quite know what we're
taking away our technology and making China stronger.
I know the guy on the radio to tell the truth.
Call the U.S.
People don't like truth.
202-224-3121. Tell Senate Republicans to oppose S2992. ProtectingTaxpayers.org, paid for and authorized by Taxpayers Protection Alliance.
Is this food good? No. Not really. Okay, man. I got to tell the truth.
It probably means you are going to have to
cut out that girl those. Because ain't nothing wrong with the meat.
You're still buying gas. You're still buying groceries. Those things that are, we can't maybe buy 1 gallon less milk.
You ever noticed, you know, a woman lying, she said, I just don't want somebody that's going to be truthful to me. Yeah.
I grew up with 1/4%.
Yeah, you ain't need a job.
You done had? The yellow grill.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I forgot.
You got Doug coming in?
Yeah, but on that I boot you.
Well, we'll be out here in
5 minutes.
minutes.
Yeah. That's enough.
Yeah. That's enough.
Because I don't want to get people in the politics. Because once y'all stay here for a minute, people find out you're here.
5 minutes, we out of here.
Yeah, I got you.
I have to.
See, Friday, everybody wants to come. I'm here all week by myself.
I was secede to Doug.
Okay.
Doug's a good guy.
Yeah,
I like Doug. Here, Doug, 5 minutes, we go.
Yeah. 5 minutes. We were just talking about as a white guy, you pretty deep. You pretty
5
deep.
minutes, Doug, you got it.
Listen, I know you only white for the waist up.
Yeah.
He got that tea, he said.
Right.
Join
Are y'all off the air right now?
Yeah, we got about.
I about ran off the damn road. I heard you finally got psychological. I've been knowing that for years.
You couldn't tell?
I've been telling. I can tell.
We are back. I'll tell you that they got. I guess this one is on Arande Mitchell. What does Arande mean? Anybody know?
Yes, that means king of a large tribe.
So why do we always name our kids? I believe that low. But at least you know what your name means.
You know, that was 70s and 70s.
Right.
Going back to Africa. Yeah. 70s was going back to Africa.
All right, then. I know a woman named her kid Escalade. So the rest of his life he goes see Escalade. Now he goes named after Cadillac. She better hope that they keep the Cadillac coming. Anyway, let's tell us why you guys are here. Then we're gonna let you go. I got another guest coming up. So what's going on?
So we just really wanted to talk about Rod D. Scott lead that we have, and like Nick mentioned, Rod was a wonderful guy. He loved sportsmanship. He loved camaraderie. And we just wanted to instill that in this lead. And we want to remember Rod because Rod did some great things for the city of Montgomery, just shining a light on it. Even though it came, we always say we want to give people their flowers before, but usually we give it after. But we want to make sure that his family know how much we appreciate Rod in the city of Montgomery.
You got the last word there, Mr. Rankin.
Like you said, we just want to keep the honor, but also give these young men the opportunity to come out and be a part of something positive. Put them around positive male role models while doing something they love to do.
Let me thank you, Arande, for blowing off the naysayers, and I was one of them. I ain't gonna lie to you. I said basketball. We got some more basketball coming up, but it really has been an ingenious idea, and so you've shown us that sometimes. One of my lessons of life in the morning is that sometimes you have to, when you stand, you have to stand alone. And we'll find that our most toughest decisions in life come from when we have to decide for our own self, regardless of what people say. And I'm glad you didn't listen to people like me. Okay, 98% of the time I'm right, but this is one of them times, that the brother was wrong about this. And we don't know how many lives have been affected, how many lives have been changed because they were doing this rather than doing something else.
Yes.
Okay.
And let me say one other thing. We also partnered to do a 707 girls flag football tournament. We had the opportunity to do it at Alabama State University.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So we're doing everything possible to reach these kids where they are. First thing, you got to get them excited about what you're doing. Then you bring the lesson. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
The sports is just a draw, but once we get them in, we have the eyes with the ears, and now we're able to teach them.
So you got to put a little cheese on that spinach, to make it look good.
Because if you put a rat trap without no cheese, what you gonna get?
Yeah, you ain't gonna get anything else. Well, let me take my last break. Thank you guys for coming. Mr. Rankin, y'all call in, come up anytime you want to, especially during the championship. And if you need a coach, a short guy to coach, y'all let me know. I'll give you a couple hours a week. Yes, that's about all I can do. But I do believe we need a short man team.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we got to stop making short people feel bad.
We're working on it.
Okay, then. We'll be back.
Thank you, sir. Doug.
Man, what's up?
Man, I went out there the other day, man. Y'all got some fish out there.
What y'all got?
The park. LPG park on Old Selma Road.
Oh, you got that fish?
No. I just went out there. I never seen it before.
Yeah.
So I went out there, I had a funeral out there last Saturday. We got to go past it, and on the way back, we stopped, walked across the bridge, saw the people. Man, that's nice out there.
Yeah, well, they got this Saturday, we got a
Fishing, yeah.
They got two fishing things Saturday. Sheriff has his.
I'm trying to figure out why we gotta get a license to fish. God made the fish. That's why I gotta pay the fish.
You know, that's a good question. You know, you gotta have a license to fish, but you don't have to have a license to get a damn pistol anymore.
That's true. I guess we can throw the fish up. I mean, I don't know.
You gotta have a license to get married, but you don't have a license.
Well, now I don't think the state is in the marriage business no more. I thought the county don't
But you
give.
still have to get a license to get married, I think. You have to have a
I don't think you
marriage
do. I think you just go get in front of the preacher and say, hey, we
I ain't
did
gonna- I
it.
ain't
So
gonna
there's down Troy Highway where
Yeah,
you at?
marriage for kids.
Okay.
Now, don't be down there like,
Share radio.
like all these guys, they'll come down there with a little kid.
I don't like
They'll
that.
come there with a little kid, and little kid had a pole and the guy.
But that's why they got wind
They'll
condition.
throw it out there.
I don't like
and you
that.
have to
You
watch
like
it,
that?
because
I got
next thing
one
you
in my
know,
house I don't feed.
he done took that pole back from that kid.
Yeah, he did.
We gonna get him all the time, say, you gotta put that pole in his hand, and you gotta go.
I know.
Yeah. I go.
Y'all doing a good job again.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
They are.
I get
First time basketball team.
Basketball.
It's all in right heart used cars
Oh.
on the East Boulevard. Buckle up, it's the law for Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is Major Delay.
Why are you driving around town on those old ball tires? Do you like living dangerously? Say no to old ball and dangerous. For all your tire needs, Chico's Auto Pros, 239-9510.
Hey folks, this is Major Delay. Not too long ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Now, few things are as important as the health of my teeth. First order of business, had to be checked by a podiatrist. Without hesitation, I told my doctor, I'm going to Dr. Brian Chiller. His Greenville facility. I went to his clinic on Route 1 behind Baptist East. The staff was friendly and professional. I was in and out in less than 30 minutes. And in that short span of time,
I used to give hour-long interviews a long time ago, but I got to thinking, when you go on the late show with all these big time people, they give you 15, 5, 10 minutes, then you go.
What's that now?
So that when you go on TV, they give you, like WSM, they give you 3 or 4 minutes, and you go.
Yeah, you know, when I did the Elvis thing, on Tuesday, I was on there nearly 10 minutes.
Woo, that's a long
That
time.
was a long set. Well, I tell you why it took so long. Because I was talking and then that, and,
265-7585 or check out
what's her name?
greenville.com.
Damn, blonde head little girl.
Yeah, I heard, I saw you. Yeah, I saw you.
Oh, but anyway, she was crying.
Yeah.
So that's why she never stopped me, you know. So I kept going because she was crying. And,
Did she know?
no, but just me telling the story. You
Okay.
know, about our relationship. She got emotional about
That's
it.
a woman thing.
Yeah. But I was crying too. So.
Yeah, I saw you were. But you know, that's genuine. That's,
Hey, like Jimmy Valvano said, you remember if you laugh, cry, remember that?
he said you should laugh,
think,
you should cry, you should think. And if you do all that one day,
It's a good day.
it's a good day.
I've done that the last 3 or 4 days.
And I've done that
Many times, yep. Now I was messing with you about Ty, and I was on the phone with Ty, and he said, I gotta go, I was supposed to call you open in 5 minutes. So I was on the phone with him. So, yeah, you got a good show today.
Well, most days it's pretty decent. I mean, yeah, we never know what I'm gonna say, but shit, I don't know.
That's what makes the show good.
You know, there ain't no scripted line here.
That's what makes it good. I'm about to go walk the Whitewater Park.
Where are we at now?
I'm gonna find out. That's what
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going out there right now.
Okay.
I've got 2 guys, independent guys. You need something there.
Oh,
2
man, I
independent guys.
could have got some digits over there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got 2 guys that are construction experts or whatever. We're gonna look at where we at and where we were last
Says
month.
it takes review for
and they'll-
municipal
they can
sewage
tell me how
treatment
far along we are,
and maintenance is
how much longer we got.
You still think it's a good
Failing
idea?
septic tank systems
You
can
still think
endanger
it's a
your
good idea?
family,
Too late
pollute the
now.
environment,
Well,
and be
that's
expensive
true.
to repair.
Well, that's
To
true.
prevent your
You know,
system
I,
from failing by having your tank pumped every 3 to 5 years,
Outside of being
keep a separate
25 million
container
over
for grease
budget,
and
I think
dispose
it's
of the
really a
properly.
good idea.
But
Use
a
detergent that's low in
city that is
phosphate. Run
predominantly,
laundry over several days to not
But it's
overload
not
the
for
system
us.
with too much
I
water.
guess not, and that's what we got, because we already here.
By the Alabama
We're
Department
right.
It's for all these people past.
Yeah.
He's up to stay.
And I think it will.
And it's gonna draw people in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's not.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, if we were counting on us, we'd be stupid. Putting basketball courts out there now. Cement ponds.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Got a special guest, Doug Singleton. Before we get to Doug, the current, one of the current county commissioners, let's take some phone calls because somebody's on the phone wondering, Scott, I don't want nobody to say, you take no calls enough. The next thing they'll be complaining. Good morning. Who's this? Oh, good.
I just wanted to recommend a guest for a speaker for your other two guys with their event, their camp. Have you recently read the article about DeMarcus Russell?
No, he's not in jail again, is he?
No.
I'll get it.
No, he's a quarterback coach down at Williamson High School, and but it's just a remarkable story. This is the first time he's ever come out and talked about it.
Okay. Right.
But anyway, he talks about his mama made a decision 5 minutes before she ran out the door to have an abortion, or he wouldn't have been. He grew up in the tough neighborhoods of Mobile, and he would have been in crack and everything else if it hadn't been for his mama and his family support. And his two brothers, his two uncles were what kept him out of trouble. And then when he went to the NFL, both of them died, and almost within a year apart of each other. And he went through depression and started drinking cough syrup and trying to deal with it. But it's just a remarkable story. If you get a chance to read it, it's online.
Okay. All right.
But he's a great motivational speaker for kids, and he's right here in Alabama down there, quarterback coach, and he's 6'6", 260, and his daddy was a great basketball player, so he'd be a great guy to come in and talk.
It would be.
About kids.
But I will run that by Aronde and see if they can reach out and touch him.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. One more. Let me see. Good morning. You're on air. Yes. Come on.
Hey, I tried to catch Rodney there. Mr. Scott, dynamite people. So it sounds a beautiful soul to Kevin. I used to shoot ball with Rodney. Matter of fact, me and Rodney were going to take over that basketball team the next year when my son went to school with Rodney's son. My son was two years ahead of him before he passed away in that car accident. And me and Rodney were going to try to take over that basketball team the next year. Well, letting that happen.
Yeah.
You don't mind the Army now.
Yeah.
How in the right place? Now, does Rodney have that page on his Facebook page? Because, Kevin, that's the same thing we do at the juvenile place. We go out there, we mentor them, eat lunch with them, then we shoot ball with them, and to try to reach out to them that way. That's why I got to get with Rodney, see if I can help. But how can you not be able to play basketball when your son can play? You know your son just come out of a black player, and he can play with us.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess you two, because I can't play no ball. So hey, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I understand. All right. Yeah, no, I was not. I was fast, but I was just short. That's all. People would give me a break. Hey. Okay. Hey, appreciate it. Our guest is right now for a few moments, a little bit here. We got Mr. Doug Singleton, currently on the Montgomery County Commission. Good morning, Doug.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. I'm up here to talk about Elton Dean. Before I do that, it's a couple things I heard this morning. Jim Lane, great company. I'm glad you got him on board.
Got him on board.
I heard you finally admit you got psychological issues. We all have known that for many years.
Yeah. Well,
Rodney Scott and his son Rod. Rodney and I grew up together. We played sports from the time we was in elementary school and remained very close friends. Worked together actually too later on. I ended up hiring Rodney at Coca-Cola Company. I was there. I'll never forget the night that I got that call to come down to Baptist South when Rod had that accident, and a horrific accident, and being up in the critical care unit with Rodney and then Rod's mama, who she also worked with me at Coca-Cola. So I had those couple things. But talking about and Rondé's program that him and Nick are doing is a great program. It's really good. If kids don't have something to do, they're going to find something to do. So you got to kind of help them find something to do. But I'm here to talk a little bit this morning. Just kind of stop me, Kevin, because I'll get rambling when I talk about Elton Dean and the relationship that we had and the love we have for each other and what he meant to me in my life. And I've had 3 or 4 interviews now, and I'll try to say some things that maybe I hadn't said before. But you had Todd Strange on this morning. Todd called me. He wanted to go see Elton, and I want to thank the Dean family because they allowed me access to Elton during all this time. He's been kind of in and out of the hospital starting in December and then back in January, and he's been kind of in and out of the hospital and rehabilitation centers since toward the middle of January. But they allow me access to go see him anytime, and I'll always be indebted to them for that. But Todd wanted to go see him, and I said, okay, Todd, meet me over at Crown Healthcare. It was actually the day that Bill Joseph, who had been chairman for 30 years, passed away. I was actually there at his funeral. So Todd met me over there, and that was the best day since January that I've had with Elton. He was really, really struggling, had a lot of things going on and against him, and but that day he was able to talk clearly, and we talked and we laughed, and Elton used to always, every time I went, he'd always tell me, he said, Doug, rub my back. So I'd always rub his back. And so he told me that morning, he said, hey, rub my back. So I start rubbing his back, and I look at Todd, and I said, Todd, rub his back on that side. So Todd was rubbing one side, and I was rubbing the other side. And Elton said, lower, go lower. I said, Elton, I'm not going to rub your rear end. Now, he just lighted. He laughed, and he shook his finger at me. And like Todd said this morning, I'd go see him, and I'd share with him what's going on with the county commission, and he'd shake that finger at me, and it seemed like the old times. But I was fortunate this past Tuesday morning, actually, and I was headed to the county commission meeting, and I was going to go see Elton that afternoon because I hadn't seen him in 2 or 3 days, and so I was going to go see him after the meeting, and something just, I've got time. It was early. I said, I got time, so I went by, and I got to spend the last few minutes there with him before he passed away. Now, I walked out before he passed away, and because the family and all was there, and I didn't want to intrude on that, but by the time I got out of the parking lot at Jackson Hospital, Brandon had called me and told me he had passed away. Elton and I, we had a unique relationship. We could talk to each other about anything. He didn't worry about hurting my feelings. I didn't worry about hurting his feelings. We were never politically correct with each other. He called me the Great White Hope. I called him Black Magic. Any other politicians out there was to say that, it'd be all over social media, but everybody that knew us knew how much we loved each other and how we took care of each other's back. And the day that he passed away, again, I got the call when I was in the hospital parking lot, and I was going to work, and I thought, well, should I cancel the meeting today or postpone it? And I actually got a couple of phone calls. Doug, what are you going to do? And I said, man, yeah, I said, if I had to ask Elton this morning what to do, he'd say, boy, you crazy. You need to have that meeting, man. Go home and do that. So we had the meeting. It was a good time, I think, for us all to be there together. And I think I went through the meeting pretty good, except towards the end, somebody said Chairman Singleton. And when they said Chairman Singleton, it just all hit me, I guess, that time. Because I said, I'm not the chairman. My chairman is Chairman Dean. Elton Dean will always be my chairman. But I know you need to go to a break. You're looking at me that way.
No, I'm good.
Oh, you good? Okay. And so he will always be my chairman. Elton and I, for the past 4 years or more, every time we left each other, we'd say, I love you. And it wasn't like, you call somebody on the phone and at the end of the phone, instead of saying goodbye, you'll say love you or something like that. No, Elton and I remember Elton would grab me by the face and say, listen, my white brother, I love you, and look me dead in the eye and tell me. And there were so many times that, you know, I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought I had the best answer, the best solution to problems. And I tell Elton, I think we need to do this. And Elton said, no. And I said, listen, Elton said, look, listen, my white brother, we don't need to do that. We need to do this. And I would argue with him, but then I'd finally have enough wisdom to say, okay, this guy's been doing it 20-something years. I'm going to listen to him. And every time, 100% of the time, I was glad at the end because he had the right solution. And I was about to make a fool of myself. And so he took care of me, but we had a great relationship.
That's good. A little bit before we get back to Mr. Singleton, let me tell you a little bit about JL Lane Truck and Auto. This hour has been brought to you by them, as a matter of fact. JL Lane Truck and Auto, located at 208 Gun Road, Montgomery, Alabama. You can also go to jltruckandauto.com and look at the inventory. But the nice thing about these guys, they're local folks. They've been there a long time. I don't know if he's from here or not, but he's been there a long time. He knows the people. He knows some of your issues. He ain't gonna worry about all your credit, but he'll sit down with you. He'll have a conversation with you, see what your situation is, and see whether or not he can help you. Because if he can't help you, you might as well just go back to the house and ride a bike, okay? Because they gonna get you in the car, okay? But he does ask for a little honesty, you know. Be serious about, you know, what you're doing, and you know, and they'll do everything they can to put you in the car. Again, they got all kinds of cars. You go to JL truckandauto.com, and you will find a plethora of cars out there, all makes, all models. And I believe they got some semi trucks too. So if you think about being a trucker, they got some trucks for you. Okay, they got some trucks for you. So whether or not you want a Lexus, or whether or not you want a whatever you want, whether or not you want a Lexus, a Jeep, a Hyundai, a Ford F-150 or 250, whichever one it is, they got them for you. Just let me give you a couple of prices here before I get back to Doug. They got a 2006 Ford 150 99. They got that Lexus, the lovable Lexus. I lost that page, but we got 12.5 for a Ford F-250. That's the workhorse of most of those trucks, I guess. And that Lexus I keep telling you about, love that car. 12.8, looks brand new. You can't beat it. You need to go to the website and see. Now, a couple of cars I told you about the other day already been sold. Okay, now I got two. Now I got three been sold. Okay, because of my ability to sell things. Something you need to get out there right now. You need to get out there, go see them. They're located at 2008 Gun Road. If you don't know where that is, 272-4313, 272-4313. Remember, buy here, pay here. So you have to worry about you paying somebody that you don't know. Buy here, pay here. That's right. JLLaneTruckandAuto.com or JL Lane Truck and Auto, located again at 208 Gun Road in Montgomery, Alabama. 272-4313. Thank them for sponsoring this hour of Decisions. You know what we call this show, Decisions? Because everything you do requires one. And even when you don't make one, guess what? You just made one. Anyway, Doug Singleton was just reminiscing about the quality of leadership and life of Elton Dean, who just recently passed. Again, our prayers go out to their family and their brother. I never really knew he had two sons. I didn't know that. Of course, everybody didn't come on the show.
Two sons and a daughter.
Two sons and a daughter. Let me go to the phone right quick. Good morning. Who's this? Pretty good.
Until you get, I'm really impressed by what you're saying about your good friend. A lot of people don't understand friendships between races sometimes. I got a good white friend that he and I can talk, just like you say, you and your friend can talk about different things, and we can joke about race or anything, man, because we know how we stand and how we love each other as a friend. So I feel that you got that same kind of relationship with your friend.
Hey, you're right. And, you know, the thing about it is I get on Kevin all the time because a lot of things that are said on this show and said outside this show is always black and white. And I'm so sick of the black and white. I mean, we're all children of the Most High God. Elton and I never looked at each other. Yes, he was black. I was white. He's Democrat. I'm Republican. You know, we never looked at all that stuff. I mean, that's a bunch of junk, and I'm so tired of all that. I hope one day that, and I doubt it happened during my lifetime, but one day maybe during my children's lifetime and grandchildren's lifetime that we'll get past all this and just realize that we're all Americans together, and we just need. I mean, and quit looking at. I mean, if we sit on this show and said, okay, let's talk about fat people, let's talk about skinny people, let's talk about ugly people, short people like Kevin. Well, we can talk about. Well, we can talk about Kevin. I ain't got no problem with that. Tall people, but everything is always, when you describe somebody or something, it's always, well, they're black or they're white. I mean, that's the first thing everybody. How about that they're good or they bad? Yeah, exactly. And we're all gonna be together, so you better get used to it. So, ain't gonna be. Now there's an alternative. I hope you don't go there, but I'm not going. So,
all right.
Well, I appreciate those kind words, but like I said, it's Elton and I work together, and it. He always said that we were brothers from a different mother. That's kind of what he always said. But again, talking about Jim Lane, not a finer guy, people in Montgomery. If you need a car or a loan or something, go see Jim Lane. This guy's done so much to help people in Montgomery, and he'll help you, believe me, if you just go see him.
Right, and that was unsolicited. All right, one more spot here. Now, this is not for you, Doug, because I've heard about you. This ain't for you. This is for people like me who are getting older, and we may need to get our testosterone checked. I mean, I've heard about you, so I don't think you need.
You heard about? Well,
I don't think you need this.
You heard wrong.
But hey, guys, now do you know that having your testosterone checked as part of your yearly checkup is something that you should do? Have you been feeling sluggish? Are your libido messed up? I don't really know what libido is, but I think it's got something to do with looking at the opposite sex in a unique way, as it were, in a desiring way. And now there are guys who don't look at. We want to get there. We want to go there. Anyway, so here's what you need to do. For $99, you can get a testosterone check. Also, at the same time, get a PSA. And I think the PSA is your thingamajig down there. Prostate. Yeah, prostate. I don't really know what prostate is, but maybe I don't really need to know what it is. But I know they need to check it every once in a while. So if it takes you 2 hours to pee when you go to the bathroom, you probably need your PSA thing checked, your prostate checked. So go check it out. But more importantly, get your energy back, get your six-pack back, get some, okay? And mama, don't blame her. It ain't her, it's you. Okay? So get your T checked. It's called low T, low testosterone. Okay? You need to get that checked. $99, Men's Health Club. Call this number, 334-440-3663. It is the best $99 that you can spend. I can truly tell you, $99 won't buy a whole lot today. But this is one of the most important things. If you're a guy, that you need to spend that $90. So give up some Budweiser, give up some Schlitz if they sell that stuff anymore, and spend that $99 and get your T checked. Okay, it will only help you, because if you the man, it's going to validate you the man. And if you ain't quite the man you think you ought to be, it's going to help you get there. Okay, so give them a call, 334-440-3663. Well, besides the traumatic things happened this week, our park is coming along.
You talking about Whitewater?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm leaving here and I got to be there at 9, so I may step out a second early. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna meet construction expert and the leader out there of the construction site, and we're going to tour the site. And I'm bringing in a third party who has a lot of experience with these type of big construction jobs, and he's going to kind of share with me, based on drone footage from a month ago, where we at today, so we kind of get a good idea how far out we got. Now, the goal is Memorial Day of next year, so less than 48
to be open.
49 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it's we've got a lot of work done out there. Still got some to go, but it's really progressing on. And but he's going to give me a better idea whether or not we can open by Memorial Day.
So where's the water going to come from?
God, rain, Montgomery Water Works.
Water
comes. Yeah. What do you think? We got a swamp or something?
Listen.
Alabama River.
The Montgomery Water Works. Y'all got any purview over them?
No.
I know it's a private industry. So how in the world can they just charge us what they want to, and they the city of Montgomery?
Well, they can because they're governed by the Public Service Commission. So
Oh,
just like
that,
your
with
power
Twinkle
bill-
in them?
Twinkle, yeah.
Well, that means they ain't been governed. That's what that means.
Come on now, don't be jumping on Twinkle.
Wait a minute, I didn't call Twinkle for a couple of years. She ain't made a return call yet. That was my buddy for a long time. Mark pissed her off, but hey, that wasn't me.
Obviously, she knows you. Then that's why she's calling back.
Well, maybe so. Maybe so.
You ain't got many, people, many dumb people like me that'll call you back.
I'm losing friends.
Yeah.
But I try to be honest. I mean, you may not like what I say, but I try to be honest. But hey, I'm the best friend and the worst enemy you can have.
Well, you're not as bad as Montiel was, and
Wait a
Mark
minute.
was a friend of mine.
Oh, that's not. He was unique.
Yeah, Mark was unique.
Yeah, he was.
No doubt.
Yeah, he was unique. Okay. Anyway, again, thank JL Lane or Jim Lane and JL Lane Truck and Auto for sponsoring this hour of the show. Appreciate it. Should you guys have need for a car, please give them a call. 272-4313. Thank you, Doug, for coming by. We'll see you next time. Next time, bring something up here when you come.
Bring something neat.
I'm just saying, give me my time. All right. Giving you all my time here. All right, I got time to take one call. Somebody wants to call in, but don't forget for your car needs, 272-4313, 272-4313. You got a great inventory out there, but they look like they're going kind of fast. So you might want to get out there quickly, okay? The 2008 Gun Road in Montgomery, Alabama. Right over there. It's over by, well, never mind where it is. I got to get some landmarks there. Landmarks over there. Okay, but it's over there. It's on Gun Road, off the bypass. Okay, 272-4313. Whew, I tell you, it's been an interesting morning. Had a lot of guests. So now it's time for me to, go find something to do. See if I can make myself look better or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. It's probably way too late for that. But you can't. You gotta at least try. Okay. 860-1440. If you want to get your last call in, now feel free to give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. Whatever on your mind. We got about a minute. Hey, any first-time callers out there never called before? You got about a minute because that's all I got anyway. Okay, we got about a minute and a half. Anytime first-time callers, come on, somebody call me. 860. Let me go out of here on a positive note. 860-1440. Just let me know that you still love me. Okay, or you don't. Either or. That I can live with it. Either way it goes. All right? Oh, nobody's called. Well, I guess I'm just going on about my business then. Yeah. Well, all right. Phone ain't ringing yet. All right. Okay, so you need more in a minute? My bad. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. All right, good morning. Okay, good morning. Yeah, hey, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Now you helped me out. We'll be back Monday. The good Lord says the same.
Good morning, I'm Judd Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Friday. Mortgage rates jump back up for next week's Federal Reserve meeting, and the Fed is expected to announce another main borrowing rate. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac reported the 30-year rate jump from 5.09% to 5.2%.
Whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. Whenever you call me,
economic news,
I'll
gas
be
prices
there.
go up.
I'll be around.
Alabama is $4.62 a gallon. The national average is $4.98 a gallon. It's a big day here at WSFA 12 News. Our summer fun and food drive is going on right now. We'll have crews at the Renfro's off Chantilly Parkway until 7 o'clock this evening, collecting food and cash donations for the Montgomery Area Food Bank. That serves more than half the counties in our state. We will have volunteers and members of the WSFA 12 News team out there all day